race fans, and welcome to the second leg of the journey to the 2023 Firecracker 400 presented by Thrustmaster. David Schildhaus here, along with Parker Kligerman, and a soon-to-be-shown third voice that you'll hear tonight as well. And it's not Landon Cassill reporting in from the moon. He's not in court or jail either, Parker. He's not with us. That's it. He's just not with us. We're fighting.
We might have a weather report from him in a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There you go. We might have a weather report,
but
he's not fighting any corporate entities that we know of. But we're here. The top 88 are set after last week's prelims, and now we find out who has the fastest 1987 NASCAR stock car. We are locking in the top 20 tonight, Parker. We've got a whole bunch of guys trying to put down a lap, and for the last 5 days or so, everyone's been scrambling, trying to find speed in their car, stressing, sweating, working, testing, begging, pleading, stealing maybe even to try and find speed in their race car. It is going to be a really exciting night. It's pole day for the Firecracker 400.
It really is. You know, this is really fun. People might look at this and think, oh, single car, 88 times. How fun could that be? We have seen wrecks in this. We've seen drivers take risk. Remember, you got to be in the top 20 to lock in. Otherwise, you're going to move into second round qualifying where you got to decide, do you run again or do you sit on your time? I also believe, I'm wearing a very key shirt for this. I'm going to show you real quick. If you can see it, it's a new track record. We might see a lot of that tonight because the speeds could be high. We use realistic weather, which means no one really knows what it's going to be till the day of. It's decided just a couple hours before we launch those servers. And therefore, it looks like, from what I'm hearing from some of the drivers and the teams down there in the pits, is that because of the wind, we might be seeing cars hit the chip, going well over 200 and some odd miles an hour, 210 or 211. But with that also means we might get some new track records. So this is going to be an intense qualifying session. That isn't easy. This isn't just hold it to the floor and go. To go fast, it is difficult, and that is the key. That's what I love about this.
Well, that's a lot to take in, and certainly a lot to keep an eye on here as we work through the night. More importantly, let's figure out, how did we get here? Last week, if you missed out or your memory got wiped or whatever the case may be, there's a lot that led up to this night. So let's take a look at how we got here.
The 2023 Thrustmaster Firecracker 400 brought to you by the Thrustmaster T818 direct drive wheel that is absolutely awesome. Week 1 is complete. Over 360 competitors fought valiantly for only 88 spots in Week 2. The racing was intense and the crashes insane. Here's a recap of how we got here. Prelim number 1 was led by Blake McCandless to the green. He would go on to win it, leading 34 of 40 laps, 2 cautions on lap 24 and lap 37, and 6 lead changes. Lots of flipping, but Blake took the win. This is your top 11 that will move on. Prelim number 2, pole sitter Logan Helton led the field to green. He would lead 16 of 40 laps and 14 lead changes, the most of any prelim over the 2 nights. The front stretch would be a parking lot at one point, but Logan Helton came home with the victory. This is your top 11 that moved through. Prelim number 3 saw Jordan Hurley lead them to green. 2 cautions and 7 lead changes in this one. And the first ever green flag pit stops that were basically a disaster in the prelims. And big wrecks, of course, and more wrecks. But Jordan Hurley was able to get the victory. These are the 11 that moved through. Prelim number 4, Chris Overland would lead them to the green. We saw a blowover, we saw wrecks, 5 lead changes, and 4 cautions. More flipping. And then the racing got pretty calm, and it got good. With this crazy finish, the closest finish of the prelims, Sean Butler would get the win. And these are the 11 that moved through. Prelim number 5, pole sitter David Brown. 5 cautions, 5 lead changes. A lot of 5s involved in this. And a massive wreck out of turn 4. More impacts on the front stretch, almost a blowover. And then more wrecks. Take a listen.
One inside. Clear I'm going to throw the caution at the start-finish line. I'm throwing the caution at the start-finish line. I'm going to throw the caution at the start-finish line.
Oh my gosh, Dylan. Dylan, I don't know what position I'm in.
Doing?
Nice.
You're not going anywhere.
Awesome. Justin Bolton would win, and Jason Fellbaum made it through. Prelim 6, A.J. Henderson, the controller king, would lead them to green. There'd be 3 cautions and 11 lead changes. And one of the best moments with this massive wreck.
Oh, they're wrecking right in front of me. 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 They're wrecking right in front of me.
Amazing. Talked his way all the way through that one. Defending champ Michael Cozy Jr. would win Prelim 6, and these are the 11 that moved through. And perhaps the most competitive prelim of the week, prelim number 7. Big wrecks, 5 cautions, 9 lead changes. But Ray Alfala, Brian Blackford, Bobby Zelensky, Ryan Vargas, Raja Karuth, the names go on and on. Big names in this one. But only one of them could come out on top. That's Daniel Buttafuoco, and these are the 11 that made through. And now the last prelim of the week, prelim number 8, led to the green by Nathan Lyon. 5 cautions, more big wrecks, and 10 lead changes with big names like Casey Kerwin, Femi Olot, Nathan Lyon, Jordan Worth, Kevin King, all vying for positions in the top 11. Putting on a great show in this Thrustmaster Firecracker 400 prelim nights. And the winner, Timmy Holmes, who led only 2 laps. And these are the 11 that make it through to complete our top 88 drivers here, all vying to get to that final Firecracker 400. Now we head into week 2 and qualifying.
Pretty fun little journey we were on there, wouldn't you say, Parker? That was wonderful voiceover work. I must say, that was probably by the 6th or 7th. Here's the 11 that moved on. We could tell it was a little bit out of your soul at that point, but nonetheless, pretty exciting, really good, and I think does a good job summing up how we got here. Now we look at the other face that's new in the booth. Hello, Blake, from the pits to the booth. I'm looking the wrong way. Where the hell's Blake? He's over there. Sorry, I'm still learning where everyone is. But Blake, you are going to be qualifying here tonight. You roll out 51st, 52nd, somewhere around there. But you got a lot to offer us as far as insight as somebody competing in this. We've had Sean Butler in the booth as well. So as somebody who's been working on their car, trying to put a setup together with your teammates to find speed, what has this process been like for you?
It has been a long process. Again, this is a process that started for, I think, a lot of these drivers well before we even ran the prelims. There are a lot of drivers that kind of assumed that, not that they were going to be in, but if they wanted to be fast tonight, that work had to start before you even got the checkered flag in your prelim and you were able to make your way through. And you know what? I think Parker is set up perfectly for tonight. That shirt that he's got on, new track record, I think we are going to see that tonight. After working for so long on these setups, Nick Ottinger's pole time 2 years ago, yep, there it is, was a 42.9. If that makes the field this year, I will be shocked. Everybody has been learning. It's continuing to speed up, so I think we're in for one heck of a night, and we are definitely going to see a new qualifying record in this Firecracker 400 tonight.
Now, why do you think that is? As somebody who's pretty tuned in and connected to the 1987 car as it's evolved, obviously, over the years, it's not the same that it was back then. What about the car has changed so much that that time that was good enough 2 years ago for Nick Ottinger is barely maybe even good enough to make the field?
Well, if you can remember back 2 years ago, there was a pretty significant change in how the cars drove. We had a really good piece that kind of detailed it with Bobby Labonte, Dale Earnhardt Jr., kind of explaining the initial rollout of the car and then the fine-tuning of this car to truly get it to drive just like it did in 1987. I think that's brought us to where we are now, and just the fact that, you know, iRacing continues to update everything. There's changes in the physics and the tire and how it reacts to rubber, all of those different minute things, and just on top of the fact that these drivers have had 2 years to work on their cars. I know people, the Firecracker 400 didn't happen last year. I know people who spent a couple weeks testing for an event that didn't even happen. So this has been a long process for a number of these drivers. And I think that's put us in a position to where we are now, where all of those things combined, we're going to see some incredible speeds tonight.
Awesome. Well, there you go. These cars don't require keys, but you know what does require keys? This event tonight, Parker. So what are the keys to qualifying?
Right. So let's run through some of these. So the keys to a fast lap, as Blake described, one, getting through the gears. You got to get up to speed. That is always key in super speedway qualifying. Smooth hands. Don't move that wheel too much. If you're moving it, yes, this is flat out, but they're not easy to drive. But if you're moving those hands too much, that is slowing the car down. Find the limits. Don't push too hard. Now, I agree and disagree with this. What we've seen in qualifying here in the past is most drivers going past that limit, or at least getting right up to it. There's always too far, but in this qualifying format, knowing you just got to be a part of the top 20, going too hard and maybe having a second chance in second round qualifying, I'm okay with that. So you know what? Do push too hard. The cars are edgy, so is your car set up correctly? As Blake alluded to, people have been working on this setup for more than 12 months for some of them. They've wanted this. They've wanted this opportunity. They made it through the prelims from over 360 competitors, now being a part of the top 88. Have you found the correct setup? That will be key. And then remember, realistic weather. We set that weather just hours ago from what it is down in Daytona. So will you get a cloud? No clouds? Good wind? No wind? That is all up to the weather gods. So that's another key part to be able to set this lap. But we'll see if anyone can match all these keys and find themselves as a pole sitter for the Firecracker 400.
Pretty awesome. I love that, especially the weather aspect. I think that's the greatest unknown. You can put all the time and effort into a setup that you want to, but if you don't get that good little blessing of cloud cover, it may not show the true potential of that, and that is a direct mirror of what we see in the real world. You know, Parker, you can speak to this abundantly as you go out for a qualifying lap, especially at a track like this, and you're looking for that cloud and, you know, or whatever that may be that really helps you out just that little bit or hinders you just a little bit. That's something that all 88 of these drivers are going to have to deal with. And it's going to be a fun night. These shows, I mean, people always talk about, you know, the prelims and all this and that. Qualifying, I think, is where it really gets interesting. But before we get into it, we got another video for you. We put out a lot of good content here at E-Racers, so check this one out too.
If you want to get the best qualifying time possible, there's a lot more to Daytona than just turning left and never lifting. Tonight, drivers will only get one chance, that's right, one chance to record a lap during qualifying with no practice or warm-up in the session. That means they'll only be coming onto the track with cold tires, an open setup, a bundle of nerves, and a plan of attack to be the fastest across the finish line. For tonight's runs, drivers will be allowed to come off the apron during their initial drive onto the track, so you don't have to go all the way around the apron and immediately come up to speed doing so. But with the cold tires they get from sitting on pit road, it'll be vitally important to not spin their tires, need to check up or graze the wall, as any of these things are certain to affect their final time during their lap. Once the car reaches turn 3 and begins the final approach to the start-finish line, drivers will be hoping to have eclipsed up to 200 miles per hour. Watch for cars to take the high line near the wall and arcing down into the tri-oval for the optimal line to start their lap. As they approach near top speed, these 87 cars want to do one thing more than any other in these corners. They want to wreck. And on this Legacy edition of Daytona, what would otherwise be the best racing line near the bottom is incredibly rough to go over. Remember, this qualifying is done with open setups, so drivers opting to run with a lower configuration might choose to run more towards the middle in order to have a smoother lap and keep the car centered. On the backstretch, it's pretty simple. Everything is about building up as much speed as possible, which requires keeping the car straight as an arrow with as little drama as possible. There's really no optimal line to follow on this backstretch, but drivers will want to find their way towards the wall to enter turn 3 on the high side to arc into the corner. Keep an eye on the speedometer as they do. This will be a key indicator on the type of lap these drivers will be running, and they'll be looking right around top speeds of 2 212 miles per hour. While the concerns in turns 1 and 2 will be about getting loose, watch for drivers to have the opposite issue, especially getting tight off of turn 4. With 88 drivers all having to take these massive risks, expect to see at least one, if not more, in their lap in the wall before getting back to the tri-oval. And now with the start-finish line in sight, the shortest distance is a straight line. And if that means cutting across the apron and even finding a bit of grass, then so be it. This competition isn't judged on style points, and many will take every advantage they can, given we're running 1987 rules, so the yellow line doesn't come into play. And with that lap complete, guess what? You're ready to watch the entire field take on Daytona for their chance to qualify for the Firecracker 400.
I wonder how many people just learned how to run a qualifying lap from watching that video. Hopefully,
I
none
may
of our
giving away too
competitors.
much there.
Parker coming back for its third time in the Firecracker 400. A very cool part of this event. It's back. The last first challenge. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so thank you to Witt's RC Racing Products once again bringing back the last to first challenge for an extra $10,000. So today's pole winner will be given the option to start last instead of first. If they take this in the Firecracker 400, then they win the Firecracker 400, they receive an additional $10,000 on top of the $20,000 or $2,000 they'll win anyway from the prize pool. This raising the total prize pool to basically $22,000. So a immense opportunity for someone who wins this poll to not only obviously be etched in the history books as a pole winner of the Firecracker 400 and have a great chance with that speed to maybe go win it. They can also start dead last and go for an extra $10,000. That'll be fun to watch.
Very cool. Awesome. Appreciate Witt's RC Racing Products for coming on board to sponsor that. It's always been a very cool part of the Firecracker 400, and it's great to have Witt's supporting that to come back and do it once again. Be curious to see if today's poll winner decides to do that. Blake, if it's you, are you taking that challenge?
I mean, you got to, right? I think there's multiple reasons. One thing, I mean, come on, it's $10,000 in a sim race. And if you already have a car that's fast enough to sit on the pole, why wouldn't you be able to drive through the field? We've seen in every single Firecracker 400 so far, there's a long line of cars waiting on the bottom. You could go past them and be up front by probably lap 15 if you wanted to.
Wow. Okay, there you go. Lap 15, he says, if you start in the back. That's something
That's ambitious.
I would love to see.
Don't hold me to it.
Yeah, it's on the internet. It's here forever, Blake. Sorry, welcome to the booth. You know how it works. As we have our first car on track here tonight, it is Kevin McAdams in the number 26 FTF.GG car. And I was watching the broadcast, the stream from Josh Mendoza yesterday, the selection show, if you will, of the qualifying order. And K-Mac was in chat saying, man, it better not be me. There's no way that it's me. And wouldn't you know it, he drew first as he comes across the line. And starts his lap here. So K-Mac, the first one to do it. And he's really going to set the bar here. I mean, Parker, every time somebody goes to the top of the board, are you going to say the thing?
New track record. We'll see. We'll see how fast it is. But just pay attention to a couple things. One, the key being the speed to the line. He was about 208 miles an hour. Looking down the backstretch, 214. Touches 215 into turn 3. So keep an eye on those speeds. It'll sort of give you an idea of what you can see going forward throughout this qualifying session.
Kevin was one of those drivers that started working on this event last year when it didn't even happen. This is going to be a pretty high bar set, I would imagine.
You see the shortcut there across the line. That's something I think we'll see every driver doing, is shortcutting that front straightaway as we wait for the time to pop up here for Kevin. Again, that's going to be the gold standard that everyone's going to be looking at. Now you got a car that has taken time, and everyone who's been practicing all of a sudden looking at their times that they've been running, comparing notes, saying, I know I can beat that, or, I'm not very fast.
We'll see what the holdup is on our timing and scoring here.
You didn't think we were going to get through a whole broadcast without some sort of technical bug, right?
No,
There it is.
Yeah. Why would we want it times? On a
Oh my gosh, that was a 5?
Okay, so what does that mean to everybody else, Blake? What does that mean? Why are you saying that?
Well, that is much faster than I would have anticipated, especially being the first car out. That is I know we didn't have a huge reaction there, but that is an insane lap from Kevin McAdams right there.
So, like, really good then. Like, that's a higher bar than you thought?
That might be the pole, and we're 1 into 88.
Okay, well, there you go.
Wow.
As Matthew Zwack takes to the track. Zwack to the track. There's our first rhyme for the night. A 42.599 for Kevin McAdams. That is the only time that's been set so far. So if you're Zwack, you know what you've been running, and now you're like, A, awesome, I know I can beat that, or B, uh-oh, I'm not even close to that. That's, man. Apparently it's a really good lap, so I guess we'll see how it pans out as we look at the speed down the back straightaway for Zwack. 215, he was flirting with it. That's fast, Parker. That is so fast. Yep, true. Thanks, Parker. Good pickup there. Like that.
I'm here to help, David. I'm here to help.
Thank you. All right. Zwack's lap is in the books. We'll wait for it to pop up on the broadcast. It's keeping all of us waiting. I love this. It even just builds more tension.
It's just building anticipation of, hey, what's happening?
Yeah.
Here?
All right. He was a little bit slower. Not a whole lot slower.
Yeah.
He's,
2-100s?
Yeah, 2-100s almost. I mean, that's not a whole lot.
No, this is going to be tight field.
But again, think back, guys. I mean, a year ago, or 2 years ago, rather, Ottinger's time was a 42.9. That was the pole time. And here we are, 42.599 is the first lap that we get on the board. I mean, they have picked up and found a lot of speed in just 2 years.
The constant progression and improvement. Connor Harrington takes to the track. See what Connor's got up his sleeve here. This is open setup racing, just to clarify. Unlike last week when we were doing fixed setup racing to get to this point, everything you see here is open setup from here on out.
They've been working on these. Some for over 12 months, as Blake alluded to. Some were on Twitter this week saying, hey, I have no idea what I'm doing. Please help. And we'll see. You know, some friendships were made. Alliances were made. I'm assuming.
Or sometimes your own brother won't even work with you.
Sometimes your own brother. Wow, Blake.
That's tough.
Airing some dirty laundry out here on the broadcast.
Yeah, nothing like family in racing, right?
Yeah.
Harrington completes his lap. 42.713 is what we're being told there. He'll slot into the third position.
I believe he hit almost 216 down the backstretch. So remember, that speed isn't always indicative, right? You got to go through the corners as fast as you go down the straights. There's always the right mix.
So what does that tell you? That he was maybe a little trimmed out, didn't quite have the downforce in the corners to sustain that speed, but once it got going straight, it rolled pretty good.
That or just, line differences, using the amount of wheel, etc. Ryan Vargas. Real life NASCAR driver here.
Nice to see Ryan out there in the Dale Earnhardt tribute paint scheme.
Just got announced as he's working for 3F Racing now and doing some late model races.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. A driver coach, development coach.
Ryan's one of those guys that's comfortable basically doing it all to have a chance to be in a race car. You got to admire the work ethic, his social media presence. He does a great job across all that. It's cool to have him here in the biggest sim race in America.
Well, that Ryan, I mean, he has been around sim racing for a very long time. I wouldn't be shocked if he puts up a really competitive lap here.
Wonder who he's getting setup help from.
That's a good question. Who's been
helping?
helping?
The other fun part of this is like, who are people getting help from? I think Blake, you certainly know where people are getting help from, and I have sort of an idea. It kind of goes back to, if they do a lot of eNASCAR stuff, who they work with. But some of these other more independent guys, I wonder if they got help from other people. They just try and figure it out. Vargas, I have no idea where he got help from. Do you know, Blake, or you
I actually do not know, but it looks like he'll clock in here 42.688. It's third of 4 cars so far, and that's one thing I love about this event too. I've essentially the last couple years we've run it, built our own setup. This is the first time we kind of worked together with a team, but there's a lot of different agendas out here, a lot of different alliances, and then we do have a couple of drivers that have just kind of done it on their own, and it's kind of a run what they brung and see what they learned over the course of the last couple days or so.
Vargas goes third out of 4. McAdams continues to be the top time thus far. Got another car on track here.
We got another one on track. Remember to type in exclamation point giveaway or exclamation point T818 to enter into the Thrustmaster T818 direct drive wheel giveaway that they're doing. You can do that in the chat on Twitch. I see some questions about if it's the wheel and pedals. It is the wheel base. This is the best part anyway. I've been using mine. It's epic. I know I would be fast in this qualifying session just because of my wheel. Blake's shaking his head at me, but I'm telling you.
I've not made the move, but I don't know one person who's made the move to direct drive and hasn't thought hasn't felt as if they've improved a significant amount.
Yeah, I haven't met anybody who's gone to direct drive and be like, yeah, that's not for me. That's worse. This is Chris Treppa, by the way. Chris Treppa on track in the 50 car. As we've lost everything except the camera, but that's all right. I'm sure Zach Johnson's murdering his equipment right now to make it work.
It's just like lightning. Sometimes they go to the robo-cams. Right now, we're able to use all the cameras. We've lost the timing. The times are being recorded as we run this. They're just not on the screen right now.
Yeah, it's okay. He's doing his best.
We're gonna keep running through this show.
He clocked in 5th out of 5 at a 42.891. So a good bit off. Nearly 3/10 off of Kevin McAdams' time there.
And that's a good question you bring up, which is, what is going to be the gap to be in the top 20? Like, what do you think it'll be? Do you think it's a 10th and a half, 2 tenths? Across the top 20, less than a 10th?
From 1st to 20th tonight, I think it's going to be about a 10th separation between being able to lock yourself in tonight, 1st through 20th. Yeah, I don't see it being much more than a 10th if it is. Then again, I say that Nick Ottinger will come out here and run half a tenth better than the rest of the field. So
he always does have a little something in those cars.
All right, now I'm confused. I'm absolutely confused. This is the same car, is it not?
No, they're running a very similar scheme.
Okay. The number's the same, is it not?
That part I don't know.
I feel like I'm in Groundhog Day here, or like it's a glitch in the Matrix. It's the same damn car twice.
We know it's a different driver.
We hope it is. Otherwise, it's Chris Treppa just continuing to make laps trying to improve, which is very smart. That's Dustin Montgomery. That was Dustin Montgomery, who just slotted in 5th out of 6, the 42.844. Oh, man. Technical.
We'll talk
technical stuff.
People.
I love it.
We'll talk.
Speaking of technical, our technology provider, Jetline Systems, not responsible for the technical issues, but they are responsible for bringing us all these great shots and technology to work with.
Empowering these players.
Right.
Good job. We appreciate it.
Actually, just got a message from our buddy Nick Ottinger. He says, "Trust me, I am nowhere near pole position."
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
I think he says that every year.
Yeah.
I'm not believing that.
You know how many times I've been told, whether it's these or other sim racing events, that some guy's way off, and then they go out and just, oh, all of a sudden they just found 2/10 in the last 30 minutes. Crazy how that happens.
I like to do that. Yeah, I always do that with Cole Custer. I like to ask him on every qualifying session what his braking points are. He never wants to tell me. It's become a running joke, but it's a similar thing. I'm like, hey, man, I'm not even close. Don't worry.
Yeah, you don't care. You don't give away those secrets to anybody.
Secrets. Nope.
Brendan Burkhoff on track here. This is definitely a different car. We can all agree on that.
Hey, so David, great, really observant comment there. This is a different car. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Burkhoff.
I got a full 8 hours last night, Parker. I'm firing on all 8 cylinders, buddy.
I feel that, man. I feel that. You might have found a 9th for all we know. That comment.
Don't tell the FIA.
Only the best analysis here on eRacer.
Right. Well, I lose the opportunity to do a lot of dad jokes during qualifying. During prelims and all that, it's easier for the dad jokes. Qualifying, that just doesn't present as many opportunities.
Yeah, we've got people in the chat judging these drivers' paint schemes. Feel free to rate in the chat each paint scheme that comes up on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being perfect, 1 being you don't like it. I want to see the chat get involved as each of these drivers comes along. We'll be judging their speeds, obviously, together. If you want to throw out a time, that'd be fun, but I don't want to judge paint schemes. I want a scale of 1 to 10.
You invited people on the internet to judge somebody.
Yep.
There's no way this doesn't go just the best.
Nope. Yeah, this is going to be fun. We're going to
that was
unofficial tallies.
Burkhoff clocked in at a 43.037, so the slowest of everybody here so far out of 7 cars. I say Netherlands? Sanders out of the Netherlands?
I was going to say it's one of our international competitors. The Firecracker 400 may be the biggest sim race in America, but that doesn't mean it's just constrained to America. We go international. We've had drivers from all over the world.
Was it just me, or did it look like his right front tire wasn't even on the ground?
We've been seeing this. We're doing some investigating. I believe this is some form of setup that is allowing these cars to sit down so far. Blake, what are we seeing here?
Well, that's a great question, guys, and I'm really happy that we live in a country where we can ask questions. Isn't that awesome?
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh boy, that's a true competitor responding here. So what we're seeing is most likely that these drivers have found an ability to get that rear end even lower via the springs and setup throughout this car, and therefore it's actually picking the right front up. There could be some shock things going on there as well. We're not going to hate on it. We're just going to see how this unfolds. Maybe these won't be the fastest cars. I don't know. Maybe they've gone too
far. Nexus is known for very creative things. Remember, we saw some very creative interpretations on setup out of Ryan Doucette a couple of years ago.
Do you remember that?
The massive squat. So maybe this is the next iteration of it. As
just misses.
I mean, that's a good lap time. So now everyone's trying to figure out how to make their right front come off the track. That's for sure. As he goes second fastest by 2 thousandths.
And I mean, honestly, that's a lap that, had it been run a little bit earlier, that's probably faster than what McAdams ran. The track temperature has picked up a little bit throughout this session. So, I mean, that's 2 or 3 thousandths of a difference when it's probably heated up about 5 or 6 degrees. I mean, that's a lap that probably would have been better than Kevin's had he gone out a little bit earlier.
Take a look at Femi out here, eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series driver for Charlotte Phoenix. Right front, off the ground. So that's the move right there. That is the meta. That's the cheese. That is the play.
And let's lean into that. I don't hate that. That is ingenuity in full effect. We have open setups. You are within the constrained system that is a simulation, right? But it's a simulation that is within a box. Real life, there is no box, right? The box is physics. In a simulation, you work within whatever they designed the physics to be, and if that's what they've discovered to be fastest or they think's fastest, can't be easy to drive, can't be easy to drive down the straightaway potentially. I think I'm fine with that. Let's see who does it. Right now, that setup is not on the pole. It's still McAdams, who did not have his right front sitting 5 feet in the air. So let's see.
Well, and that's one thing that they really did to these 87 cars over the last 2 years, that there's a lot more freedom in gear ratios. You could be more specific in terms of the spoiler angle. When we ran 2 years ago, you had to run 20 or 10-degree spoiler, for example. Now there's 15. There's a lot more customization in these setups, and I think you're seeing guys take full advantage of it here.
Which I like.
Yeah.
They make an open setup for a reason. Where's Femi? Oh, P4.
Fourth.
Less than a tenth separating the top 5 so far as we've run 9 cars. Ooh, I like this scheme. Look at that, right? All right, Alec.
It's
Martinez.
already off the ground.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's already sitting there. Look at that
That's
thing.
a static thing. All right, that's not when it's loaded up. That's a static thing.
Oh, like California. Full of ingenuity.
I'm being told that Kevin McAdams' car was right front off the ground as well. We just missed it.
Well,
More importantly, cloud cover here for Alex Lapp.
Yeah, we were just talking about it being 123 or 124. It's already down to 115 in about 2 minutes.
Well, that says if Alec can put together a competent lap here, he should benefit.
yeah, look at that. It's going to change. I also see some competitors in the chat watching these early runs and now thinking they have a limited amount of time to figure out how to make their setup to what these guys are doing. Could you imagine being on the engineering team of one of those drivers?
Also seeing a lot of paint scheme ratings. A lot of people being very brutal towards this scheme for some
What
reason.
does it say? It's the Dale
I see 11 out
Yoda.
of 10. I see a 6 out of 10, a 2 out of 10, a 3 out of 10. We're all over the place.
You know, this reminds me kind of, remember that Coke Series race like 3 years ago at Daytona where all the front, you know, it wasn't just the right front, it was the entire nose of the car was off the ground. It's kind
Yeah,
of
I remember that.
some flashbacks of that.
Yeah, the airplane mode. Yeah, those were good old days right there. There we go. Across the line, Alec Martinez slots in.
Oh, there we go.
Say the thing, Parker. Say the thing.
It's a new track record. How'd I do? I'll keep getting better.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
solid.
feel like you need to lean into it a little bit more.
I feel like that rating would get higher than what most people in the chat rated that last paint scheme.
All right, chat, rate my
Damn.
new track record.
But the Dale Yoda is
Every time.
fast.
Here goes Daniel
Another
Adam
international.
out of Stuttgart, Germany, also known as Racing Revo on Twitch. Raced his way in last week.
Love that. Another international competitor, also from the home of Porsche.
That's right.
As a Porsche owner, I'm like seeing that. Very cool.
I'm glad you pointed it
Should be
out
awesome.
because if you didn't, I would have. But
Yep.
I would expect nothing less out of a Porsche owner.
At least in Central European summertime, it is 1:35 in the morning right now for Daniel.
Well,
What a
no better way to
dedicated-
stay awake.
At least he's going early. At least he doesn't have to go
Yeah.
out like 85th.
Golly,
Kinda
that's
like
a
an early
long
draw.
day. Looking forward to just one lap. That's a long day.
Let's see it, Daniel.
Now it used to be.
His right front's a little closer to the ground. We'll see what that means.
Oh, no!
No. That's
No!
got day 2
Oh.
written all over it now. That's for sure.
That's a rerun.
That will be a rerun tomorrow.
Our first mistake. Firecracker 400 2023 presented by Thrustmaster qualifying. You just saw it.
I was about to say he was running really low, and it seems like we're seeing a lot more drivers being able to run a lot lower. The bumps aren't as unkind to them this year, but the one thing that comes with that is if you get a little bit too low, you get those left side tires right down by the yellow line. The car just wants to snap sideways, and I think that's what happened right there for Daniel. Just exited really low, and at that point, it's just really hard to control.
It says holy on the side of his car. I'm pretty sure he was saying that plus another 4-letter word afterwards. Old 4-time Ray Alfala, ready to rock and roll in his Toyota.
Interesting addition to his car there. You might see on the back bumper.
Yeah, first time ever playing this game. Rookie stripes on the back for Ray Alfala, a newcomer here. Never heard of him before.
Well, you know, this would be his first Firecracker 400 if he were to qualify. He has not made it in each of the last 2 times out.
Correct. Hence, you see the rookie stripes
Oh, there
to
you go.
signify the rest of the field, even though he's a 4-time eNASCAR champion. This is his first shot at this. Right front firmly in the air.
Firmly.
Yep. The sun is out. No cloud cover, as Martinez had a little cloud cover during his lap.
A little more favorable on the paint scheme ratings in chat.
Just about 210 at the line. .213 into turn 1. Lets it float up, as Blake was talking about. Don't keep it too low.
Pretty tidy right there. Pretty tidy.
Looking good. What can we get down the backstretch? 216. Just touched it into turn 3. It looks smooth.
So far, so good. To the line. Onto the apron. Back up. What's it going to be for Ray?
Oh,
P4.
Really solid.
P4.
Yeah, it's a good lap. It's a good lap.
That looked a lot more comfortable than I think what most of the drivers we've seen out here. No bobbles. It didn't have to overcorrect at all. That looked really, really smooth. And honestly,
Maybe
you know
too
what?
smooth.
For to try and just get in on the first day, I don't think that's such a bad strategy to have a car that drives really well.
If you don't think you have a shot at the pole, just being in that top 20, that's a game changer, right? Lock it in.
Well, and again, I think the one thing we're really going to have to look towards, especially tomorrow, is in previous Firecrackers, it has cooled off the second day. So pretty much everybody had to rerun the second day. That may not be the case tomorrow. Looking at some of the weather, there's been a lot of cloud cover today, and you're going to see that in a lot of the sessions we run. There's supposed to be less cloud cover tomorrow from the weather that I've looked at. So I think we're going to have a really interesting day after we get through these 88 of watching who's going to sit on their time thinking that the weather may not be as quick tomorrow.
Love that. It's always fun to see in the Discord all the competitors going back and forth on what they see from the weather, if they're going to rerun or not. Brandon Hawkins hopes not to have to do that, right? He's just trying to put in right here.
Quite possibly the nicest person in all of iRacing that you could hope to race against. One of the most courteous, genuinely sweet people in iRacing is Brandon Hawkins. Like, he's just, anyone who's racing against him knows he's like the nicest person.
And yet he's also incredibly talented.
He's so good. He's so good. It's just disgusting how good he is. And he's so nice, which makes it really hard to hate him. I don't know how anyone could hate Brandon Hawkins. To the line he goes in his customary number 89 car. Where does Brandon slot in? P4. Good
Look how
lap.
tight that
Really
is.
good lap.
Look at that. 9 1,000ths of a second separate the top 4. I think we're in for a very, very close top 20.
Is it too early to say that we've already maybe sort of established, as this car goes out, this is definitely one that could change everything here by the time I get done talking about it, but do we sort of have a line of demarcation as we look at these times of where you really want to be for a close, good time lap?
He is super high in 1 and 2. I mean, he is right by the wall, which I wouldn't necessarily say you have to be out there, but I haven't seen anybody get off of pit road and get that close to the wall yet. But then again, Seth the Merchant is probably one of the best super speedway qualifiers in iRacing.
We know
Yeah,
this.
he's
the bar.
He's one of those guys, like, if he's doing it, it's probably a good idea to do it.
Yeah.
He's got it figured out.
Yeah. It's just one of those guys you look to as the standard for how to do things. He's just the consummate professional, super talented, always brings a lot of speed, and for my money, nobody drives a car that's out of control better than Seth the Merchant.
Man, he really diamonded the corner right there. Which, again, not saying that's a bad thing, but that is a lot more. We've kind of seen two different approaches, really, really low or a really high diamond. To 15 into 3. Oh, that thing's sideways, too.
Yeah, it looked like it wiggled. It was all over the right rear on entry. I don't know.
We'll see how that affects the lap time to the 57. Seth the Merchant, Altus Esports entry. What's it going to be?
Oh.
P8.
Wow.
Not what he was looking for there. Perhaps the bobble in turn 3, the difference.
That's going to be close to being the top 20. I'm with you, Blake. I think it's going to be well under a 10th to make the top 20 from what we're seeing, how close these times are. And he's on the back side of half a 10th. That's going to be tight.
Well, and that's what we're going to see. I think 1 and 2 has been relatively straightforward, but you'll really see how trimmed out these cars are and how they're willing to push the envelope when they get down to 3 and 4. And unfortunately for the Merchant right there, we've seen so many cars that are hooked up so well through 3 and 4 that any little bobble is going to make such a big difference.
Eli Sasek from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Also, Parker, you'll know this. What other NASCAR driver comes out of Grand Rapids, Michigan?
Grand Rapids, Eric Jones.
That's right.
Wow. Did you realize how quick I got that?
I mean, you're a TV guy. You're a competitor. You know the deal.
Oh, come on. I want some I can barely remember where I'm from, but I knew where Eric Jones was from. Also, we have the chat pointing out here, Eli has got the front end of this thing on the ground and not a fast mile per hour to the line here. Only 200.
That baby is pinned, and it's not good. But you know who else from the NASCAR world are now retired drivers from Grand Rapids, Michigan?
Who's that?
Johnny Benson.
Oh, yeah, of course. They're both big about Berlin Raceway.
Put on a pretty big late model racer every year, don't they?
They do. No offense to Berlin and all the people that love it. I had a horrible experience there my one time there in ARCA. I had the flu and finished 6th, and I did not have a good time. So
definitely the racetrack's
never gone
fault.
back. It was all the racetrack's fault.
Eli slots in 14th out of 15. Just not a lot of speed in that number 9.
No.
He's got a lot to figure out between tonight and tomorrow. Back to the lab, Eli. Figure it out.
Yeah, if you're a teammate with Eli and you got that same setup, start working on it.
Yeah, get the nose off the ground first and foremost.
I like this shot here, looking into the cockpit of Blake Reynolds' car out of Houston, Texas.
If Seth the Merchant is like number 1 in driving sideways cars, I think Blake Reynolds is 1A when it comes to driving sideways cars. They're both incredibly talented at it.
And he is fittingly has Nitro Circus from Travis Pastrana there all over this car, because that is Blake Reynolds. We've seen him do some spectacular drifts. He's missed his other calling as a D1 drifter for sure. Probably one of the best drifters in all sim racing. An ability to just put the car on the right or left rear and slide it all the way through. Let's see what kind of speed he brings. Of course, the right front of that car propped up in the air, wagging to the fans, waving. Packed house here for qualifying, by the way, down in Daytona. Good to see the crowd really turn out.
Yeah, huge fan turnout. A lot of sponsor activations going on out there in the Midway. It's great.
Really awesome.
Yeah, I got a fishing tournament going on in Lake Lloyd right now. It's just incredible.
You know, I actually did see Thrustmaster at Chicago when I was there a couple weeks ago. They had a set up there. They had a whole sim rig and everything. So maybe they got some of that going on at Daytona tonight.
This is a... Oh, he went way up the track there in the middle of 1 and 2.
Look at pull it back down, though. Yeah.
No wiggle. Oh, and used a lot of track on off of 2.
That baby's eating right there. A little slower down the back straightaway. I think the exit of 2 hurt him a lot.
So like this paint scheme, I'd give this one up there at 8.8.
A lot of cloud cover right now for Blake, too.
Just going to point that out. One thing we're not seeing is the sun, the sun shining on that paint scheme. Oh, P6.
Tied with Alfala there for 5th.
Oh, boy. boy. Ties. It's like IndyCar qualifying. We're going to need another decimal point, please.
What's crazy here, though, is you can look up, or I'm kind of in the sim looking up at the sky. Everybody who's on pit road, you better get your laps now because there's a little bit of, there's kind of a window of sunshine that's coming. So get your laps in now while you can, guys.
We'll move them as fast as we can. In order, of course. It's the fairest way to do it. For some of the viewers out there, might be seeing the practice moniker up besides the Thrustmaster Firecracker 400 logo. Obviously, for those veteran iRacers out there, we run these sessions in a practice session. These are not qualifying, so that is just letting you know what session we're in, what type.
Thank you, Parker.
Yeah.
Do want to point out that we invite you to continue the conversation about the Firecracker 400 poll day on social media using hashtag Firecracker 400. Make sure to tag Parker, tag me, tag Blake, tag eRacer, tag everybody and anybody to let them know where you're watching it from, who you're cheering for. And I do want to shout out, again, Justin Malillo on Twitter, at Justin Malillo, who is doing individual driver-by-driver little tweets with a picture of the car, their poll time, where they slot in. Justin is a great follow on Twitter, keeping everybody up to date on everything happening with the Firecracker 400 himself as well. So go check it out. You'll never be out of the know if you're following eRacer, if you're following Justin. A lot of great coverage there. So appreciate that. Shout us out. Thanks for watching. Wherever you're tuning in from, we appreciate you being here.
Yeah, use the hashtag Firecracker 400 last week, and it did almost 10 million impressions.
Wow.
Yeah. We're on pace to match what it did in 2021. So the conversation has been big. Thousands of people interacting. It's been cool.
That's huge.
It's awesome. Very cool.
I'll tell you what, we saw it once again there from Kolonix. Another really wide line into 3 and 4.
Yeah, P9 for him. The other thing we haven't talked about, Parker, don't wreck your car.
Yes. You'd have to go to a backup.
Don't wreck your car. You can't just sling it off into the wall after you're done with your lap. Just like we've always done. If you wreck your car in qualifying, you will have to go to a backup, which means you're going to the back.
Yep.
You don't get to keep it.
Nope. You're starting dead last. If you're able to qualify in the Firecracker with that lap and you wreck it afterwards, you will be starting towards the back. If you wreck that car, we deem you have to go to a backup. Or at the back of the Firecracker 200, which we run next Monday.
Right. Although I don't think we're as at risk of seeing that as we have in years past. Blake, you remember in the first year of this event, the second year of this event, again, these cars were so much different back then. They were so much more on edge, so much more out of control, and I feel like they're a little more planted under you at this point, especially as you go through the tri-oval. I don't really see a lot of guys getting out of shape.
No, and I think you're right. And again, that was kind of the emphasis when Dale Earnhardt Jr., Bobby Labonte, and a couple others were looking at this car and how it drove on the sim. You know, that was kind of the feedback that, you know, Bobby and Dale had, that it was just a little bit too free. And of course, these cars are monsters. They're very, very hard to drive. But they weren't as sideways through the center of the corner. If you go back and look at, you know, onboard cameras from 1987, they weren't quite as sideways as what they were in the sim. And I think now they've kind of struck that balance where it's still really hard. We've seen a number of drivers slip up already tonight. But it's definitely, I think, especially in the front end, the rear end grip is a little bit closer to what it was at that time.
Colton Salek completes his lap here. Good to see Colton back. Remember, the first year of the Firecracker 400, flipping wildly down the back straightaway on the last lap was Colton Salek. Probably not a memory he enjoys too much, but certainly a part of Firecracker lore nonetheless. Where does Colton slide in there? P5 for Colton.
Wow.
Pretty good little lap there.
It's a great lap. Great lap. So right now, we have 12 cars under a 10th separation. And Tucker Minter, this is a name, sends shivers through many of the Firecracker 400 competitors. You know he's going to be fast.
Yeah.
Push me to my prelim win. Appreciate it, buddy. Good luck.
Another sharp-looking Altus Esports car, Tucker Minter. Two-time eNASCAR Coco iRacing Series winner this year, if my memory serves, Blake. Is that right?
including right here at Daytona.
That's right. One of the more surprising rookies of a very impressive group of rookies that series has seen. Tucker, one of the more, again, nice people that I've ever met and talked to many times in person. Just as nice off the track as he is in sim, but a fierce competitor. Don't let that very calm, cool, collected demeanor fool you. This guy is a demon behind the wheel, knows how to drive these cars.
We head off into turn 1, 213. Pretty typical for some of our top 5 cars.
These Altus cars look really on edge.
They do. The right front, I don't know. Does the right front look as high up as some of the others?
Looks a little lower to me.
Yeah. Maybe they didn't go full out.
The RPM is really high on the Altus cars getting into 3, though.
Well, we already saw what the Merchant did, which was probably a lap that they weren't thrilled with. This looks a little more composed from Tucker Minter. We'll see how it fares against Seth. Across the line.
Wow. So barely,
Yeah.
just barely
P10.
fast. He had, I saw it, he had a little bit of a slide into 3, just like the Merchant. Like, right as they get to the 3/4 mark of the entry, you just see the car so straight. The rear end is obviously sliding. I think that's just hurting their speed. Maybe they're carrying great RPM and speed down the backstretch, but it's not paying off as they go into 3 and 4 for those Altus cars.
And is that not the best thing about this event? That, okay, those Altus cars, they're clearly trimmed out. They're a little bit faster on the straightaways, but it's you got to turn these cars. You can't just trim these cars out for speed, like you would see in an X-Gen car, Gen 6 car at a modern Daytona. You have to find that balance, and that's what has been so much fun about building this setup and preparing for this, is that you're having to decide whether that much extra speed is worth the risk of having an ill-handling car.
Here we go. This is a big one right here. The defending champion of the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series, Casey Kerwin, fan favorite, takes to the track in his patented number 95. Let's see what he can do here. This is a guy a lot of people were hyping up in the chat before this event kicked off as a serious contender for the pole.
Huge following. Our viewership just quadrupled as he came onto the racetrack. So the fans have followed Casey Kerwin here. Big-time streamer. 215 down the backstretch. Tidier into 3. Way tidier than those Altus cars.
This is a good-looking lap right here. Let's see what it looks like on the timing and scoring, but it looks really good.
Moment of truth.
Across the line is P5 for Casey Kerwin. P5. Not bad. I think we just had a little hiccup on the broadcast. I think we're okay. Casey was going so fast he might have broke the broadcast temporarily. That's fine. Everything's fine.
There's all the thousands and thousands that were tuning in just for Casey's lap.
Yes, absolutely.
Man,
The Dale Jr. of iRacing.
Yeah. If you need to, make sure you refresh. If your stream isn't working right, just refresh. We are fine. Jesse Bennell hits the track.
Kennebunk, Maine. Just up
That's a
near
fun
that way.
That's a fun word, Kennebunk.
Yeah, there's also Kennebunkport. I don't think it's the same place.
I would imagine it's not the same place if it's not the same place. That's it. Go put your hand on it and tell us if it's the same place.
I'll let you know. Man, this is cool. I'm so glad to be here, this Thrustmaster Firecracker 400 qualifying. This is so fun to watch. I love this. As we get, just past 20 cars, we start to see who gets knocked out, who's going to start having to make decisions, start plotting that weather tomorrow, talking to teams, trying to work on setups, trying to maybe work some deals for setups. Who knows what happens in the background? It becomes an all-out barter session as these qualifyings go on. This is no different than the Indy 500 in terms of amount of backdoor behind closed doors, boardroom discussions that are happening.
The politics of the Firecracker 400.
The things you love to see. And importantly, this is our 21st qualifier right here. So this will put our first driver out and establish a bubble time to keep an eye on as Jesse goes 17th, and that officially puts Daniel Adam into day 2 activities. Also, shout out to the roof number on the 35 as well, which was going the opposite way from where it traditionally does. Is that sim racing placement, Parker, right there? Kind of like the deck lid.
I missed it.
It was
What were you looking?
pointing towards the stands instead of towards the infield. The roof number.
Oh, well, that's for the sold out crowd. So
Yes.
By the way, from the chat, Kennebunk is right next to Kennebunkport. It's 4.2 miles apart. Yeah.
As it should be.
Yep.
You know, that's a very very heated Friday night when those two high schools go to play football, right?
It's very true. Very true. Did you see Connor Horn take the track here and get up to speed from New Jersey? Because I'm up here in Connecticut. Cool to see some more New Englanders. Tri-state area. Giving it a go. But I actually got to race with my Thrustmaster T818 direct drive wheel earlier today in a C fixed at Pocono. One, I was up to speed quicker than I ever have been because this wheel is incredible. You can feel so many minute movements. I was up front. I think I qualified 3rd, which I was pretty impressed with. But we never ran more than maybe a lap under green. It was one of the worst
Oh,
races.
no.
Oh, man.
Yep. So
You'll have that sometimes.
Saw some friends from that race out in the chat. This has nothing to do
Yikes.
with Connor Horn. He wasn't in that race, but just thought I'd put that one out there.
Sorry to hear that your C-Fix experience wasn't very good.
No, but it was actually so fun driving this wheel in practice and qualifying and just feeling how quickly is up to speed, how closely it relates to the simulation I was doing earlier this week. What'd Connor run here?
Connor slots in P11 with a 42
Good lap.
650.
Good lap.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
So as we head into more, this has got to be one of the tightest qualifying fields we've ever seen in the Firecracker 400 right now.
It's got to be really close. Yeah, I was just thinking that we typically see a big separation at the front from the drivers that have it figured out, but everybody is just so close now.
Tells me we got a lot of really smart people doing this.
And again, if you're Alec Martinez right now, are you starting to think about that Wits Racing Products last to first challenge?
Oh, yeah. It's probably a little early, I would think.
Yeah.
Count your chickens.
But I don't know. That may have been the money lap.
I got what you did there, Blake.
I heard it. That was nice. Thank you for the shout out. Money Lap Podcast. Go check it out. Yusuf Ghali here from Houston, Texas in the 48. Love that number. That's worth at least probably 1/100 to be on a 48 car. Just gonna put it out there. Yeah, weird how that works. Hey, look at that. New motorsports podcast, Money Lap, also a newsletter. TheMoneyLap.com.
And when they say insights, they don't. I love the discussion you and Landon had about where to pass entering. Oh, no, golly! Oh, golly!
Yusuf, hold on to it. Oh.
Goodness, that's a
That's a backup car, I would say, yeah.
Oh, my. We've had our first crash. He tried to hold on to it. Did the old overcorrect.
So, you know how you guys were talking about how high cars were to the ground? I think that was a classic case of, well, the rear end bottomed out. And, well, that's not going to work out.
No, that's there goes the tire. It just came off, bouncing down the racetrack.
Race control. Can we get that off the racetrack?
Yeah, we got Mendoza to run out there and grab that. Usually he's grabbing the cone. Now he's gonna have to go grab a whole tire and wheel assembly.
That's unfortunate.
If we take a look at your replay here, just
wiggle, and gone.
one wiggle and around she goes, and then tried to catch it, into the wall.
And so what you saw there, you see those two little tiny wiggles, that heating up that right rear tire. And then by the time he had it settled down, it was already gone because that right rear tire is now far too hot. That car is going to spin around in no time, of course, because you're on such an edge. There is no downforce. Goodbye.
Oh, boy.
He'll be
Look
in
at
round
this.
2.
Michael Conti. That right front is almost as high as the top of the outside retaining wall.
And by the way, track temperature back up to about 124, 125 after it was at 115 for a while. So we were talking about the gap in the clouds. Well, unfortunately for Michael Conti, this is probably as ill-timed as it could have been for you.
Still going to, you would think it's going to be fast, but maybe not as fast as it would have been in conditions similar to what Alec Martinez enjoyed. That's the name of the game. That's part of the fun. We talked about the top of the show, the weather, the unknown of weather, whether you catch that cloud, that tailwind, really boosts your lap and helps you extract a little bit more out of your setup as Conti works his way down the backstretch.
He's hitting the chip getting into 3.
Did I see 218?
Wow.
He was hitting the chip coming into turn 3.
What does he have?
To the line.
Clean cut.
P15. Wow.
Oh,
that was
man.
It's a lot slower than it looked.
Yeah, well, again, I think that's one of those, the weather is changing, and that's a lap that, he runs that 10 minutes ago. That's probably 4 or 5 spots or so that he's further up the running order. But again, that's what makes the Firecracker the Firecracker. Got to learn to manage it. And go. What a great headshot.
Look at that.
You'll love that. Alabama. Is it Montevallo?
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
Got the Air Force on there, so I'm going to take that he's in the Air Force.
A lot of people in chat doubting that Conti hit 218, so I guess our technology just lies. I'll just blame that on Zach. Zach just putting false information out to people.
I'd like to thank Jonathan for his service and all the armed forces out there.
Absolutely.
Love seeing that here in the Firecracker 400.
We'll see my
Kevin
brother
again
Philip a
says
little
he
bit
was-
later on.
Right?
He's in the
Yep.
Navy.
Jonathan won't be the only one in the armed forces. Your brother, as you mentioned.
Kevin's saying he was in the server and Conti only hit 214, so apparently our speedometer is 4 miles an hour off.
Whoa. Don't let facts get in the way of a good story, as we say in
I'm
the
telling you,
broadcast world.
unbelievable. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for bringing it down.
Yeah. Wow. Learn a little thing about TV, all right?
Gosh, guy goes out first and thinks he can just tell us how to run our show.
Yeah, jeez. This has been a stable lap. I'm not sure it was fast.
Stable, but yeah, I think a little bit behind the 8 ball at 9.63.
Just misses out on the top 20. Slots into 21st.
Which, again, would have been pole 2 years ago, or good enough for pole 2 years ago.
Times have changed.
Pretty wild. Pretty wild.
And I think as far as I can see, there's 3 more drivers that are lined up for this session that haven't, or no, 2, excuse me.
And you bring up a great point that we should talk about. As we get to the end of these drivers, we'll then switch to another server where those drivers will be set up. The weather is set up in a way to continue on in relation to real life. Remember, we started around 12 o'clock in the sim, which would have been similar timing to what we had in real life, as we see Matt Busa here with the right front in the air. And therefore, we will have 3 servers as part of this whole qualifying session over all 88 drivers. The weather and our team have worked very hard to make it as realistic as possible and to have continuity in that weather throughout the different servers.
And by the way,
And
Matt
it does give
Busa,
rubber.
Michael... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say Matt Busa, Michael Conti, the setup that they're running. We know Conti didn't necessarily have a great lap. Team Conti, that's the same setup. I imagine the Nick Ottinger will be running later tonight. Same team.
Wow.
Oh, he was on the chip. You could hear it going into turn 3. Bouncing off the rev limiter. A lot of speed from Matt Busa to extra 3 and 4. But is it fast? Across the line, Matt Busa clocks in 18th fastest with a 42.724. Not
he was
great.
hoping
So
for
now
more.
if you're Nick Ottinger, you're like, man, can we work on this thing a little bit? That's 15th and 18th for Team Conti right now. You're not going to have a lot of confidence if you're Ottinger.
There are a lot of Coke teams that wish that they would look like that in qualifying this year.
What, 15th and 18th?
Yeah. They've had an incredible year in the Coke Series in qualifying. But that's how good the Firecracker is.
So guys,
Okay.
I've done some digging, and it looks like to me 2 years ago in 2021 when we last ran this event, you were looking at a little bit more than the 10th separating the top 20. I don't see how this is possibly going to be. You're going to have to be within a 10th to make the top 20 here tonight. I think that's all but decided.
But again, when we change servers, depending on what the weather is in that next server, there's a little bit of variability, but we kind of have a ballpark idea of where it's going to be. Maybe we get in the next one and everybody's a tick faster or a tick slower.
I'm sorry, it was actually a 10th and a half, a little more than a 10th and a half that separate the top 20. So this is going to be interesting.
Speaking of Coke Series, Jeremy B. Davis, former Coke driver. Looks like he may be the last one in this session to make a time.
What will it be for Jeremy to the line?
Oh man, way off.
Not very good. 43.135 for Davis.
Not going to cut it.
As that's 26 out of 88 that have cut the time so far here in day one, pole day for the 2023 Firecracker 400 presented by Thrustmaster. Already some trends starting to emerge, some patterns that we can dive into, analyze, look at, cut up, dissect.
Well,
some guys feeling good, some guys not feeling so good.
Yeah, the first one that sticks out to me, roughly around a 210 mile per hour, or 208, 209 to the line. You're going to have to be above 213 into turn 1, and you're going to have to be around 215 at least into turn 3 if you're going to be able to go and fight for this pole. So if you see those numbers connect, most likely that's a lap that lines up, except we have seen some speeds at the end of the straightaway that are a little higher, maybe closer to 216, but that didn't pan out the way they hoped. So it's not as easy to say, but that's some of the telltales I've been seeing that lead me to believe those are the numbers you most likely are going to have one or two of those, maybe three, all three. You want to go get this pole for the Firecracker 400.
Blake, what are you seeing out there?
I'm seeing, again, I got to give a shout out to Kevin McAdams. That lap 1 that he put out there, we've kind of found that you want a little bit more rubber on the racetrack. So the fact that he went out there in his first lap and was second fastest, I think speaks a lot about his car and whether somebody like Sean Butler, who's probably on the same setup, has a good shot at winning pole tonight. But yeah, I think that pole time, you're going to have to hit about a 5. You're going to have to hit a 5 or so if you want to compete for that pole. Maybe a 5.8 or 5.7 is where I guess it'll probably end at the end of the night.
All right, there you go. And as somebody who's about to hit the track, are you in this next session or the one after that?
I am, but I can still hang out for a little bit.
Well, no, I wasn't getting rid of you. I was just asking, since you're in this next session, you've got to see 26 guys go. Don't worry, I'm not kicking you out of here, Blake. It's not that deep, man.
We're putting you to work the entire time.
Yeah.
Not worry.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'll talk through my lap. I don't care.
We don't know what you think this is. But I'm curious now that you've seen 26 guys go, you're about to hit the track. Is there anything that you had in your mind already going into this lap that has changed based off of what you've seen?
Well, there was kind of one thing, and I'm sure a lot of drivers who are going later are considering it. I went out second last year, so I didn't really get this opportunity, but I kind of have two setups that I want to run. And I'm questioning which one, because one's a little bit more on edge, but is, maybe a hundredth or two better. And after looking at that, kind of where the lap times are shaking up, we'll continue to watch here at the beginning of the second session. I think you're going to see a lot of guys kind of make those decisions about, am I willing to take a little bit more risk, depending on where we've been testing so far, to try and risk that if you think you have a shot at pole or just to get in the top 20. That's a decision I'm going to grapple with right up until I get in the car.
All right, there you go. From the mind of the driver coming up on track here. We're going to take a quick commercial break, set everything up for the second session. You are watching Pole Day here for the 2023 Firecracker 400 presented by Thrustmaster.
Our sport has always been fueled by our fans, and our house is no different. Visit the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte for the ultimate fan zone experience. This is our sport. This is our house.
In our family business, we settle feuds at 200 miles an hour. Visit the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte for the ultimate outing. This is our sport. This is our house.
Welcome back to qualifying for the 2023 Firecracker 400 presented by Thrustmaster. Speaking of Thrustmaster, we've been talking about a lot already, so let's highlight it one more time. Their flagship product, brand new to the market, the T818 direct drive wheel.
All right, so Thrustmaster sent me this T818 wheel, which is their direct drive wheel. As you know, Thrustmaster is a partner here in the Firecracker 400. Don't mind my setup, it's a bit messy, but I've been doing some practice after setting it up at New Hampshire. And I can tell you, this thing is incredible. As we get rolling here, the first thing that hits you is it's incredibly smooth, right? I also love the Sparko wheel. This is the rally wheel, although I think it's very close to what we have in stock cars and feel, size, that sort of thing. But as you go on the racetrack, you immediately start to feel all the just little bumps that change in the banking. And as you brake, you can feel the left front just starting to try and lock. You feel the difference between the left front and the right front, almost like chatter. I'm blown away. I mean, I've never felt a sim racing wheel like this. I spend hours a week in manufacturer sims that cost hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, that are trying to achieve this same feel. It's incredible. I mean, every little movement of the tire is there. As you come up the corner, you can feel the car weight and then unweight, especially in the left front. It's just unbelievable. Where have you been all my life? I would have won so many more sim races if I had this wheel in my life. There's no chance I'm ever going to use a different wheel. I am absolutely blown away, and that is not just because they're a partner. I am telling you, this is one of the best sim racing wheels I have ever used. And I don't even know if I have all my settings exactly how I want them. I'm still working on that. But this has made my practice and testing for New Hampshire this weekend so much more enjoyable. The feel is incredible. Oh, amazing. Thank you, Thrustmaster. I should probably pull over and stop. Thank you so much for supporting the Firecracker 400 and for this awesome wheel. I can't wait to do a lot more sim racing with this wheel.
Again, a big thank you for Thrustmaster, the T818. Their direct drive wheel, perfect for iRacing and pro sim racers, fully compatible with their entire ecosystem of products. Has that great quick release adapter for easier rim swaps and a constant 10 newton meters of unfiltered torque for powerful, accurate, consistent force feedback. Parker, I haven't seen a smile on your face that big in quite some time. Looked like you were really enjoying that thing.
So here's the best part. Some people might think, oh, you know, he's just teen or whatever. Nope, that was just my legitimate response. That was literally the first time I had used it. Put a camera on, decided to talk as well. And yeah, that was my initial reaction because it's incredible. I won't mince words. I've driven sims that cost $100. I've driven sims that cost multi-millions. This wheel has been revolutionary to me because I really just don't feel like I've had sim racing wheels out there that gave me this level of feedback and just minute things that are happening through the car and through the wheel that I haven't felt before. So I felt like it's an awesome wheel, and I truly mean this when I say it. I have no interest in using any other wheel on the market right now.
Awesome. Big words from a big racing guy as Logan Helton runs his lap. Here's a guy that has a lot of fans in chat, Logan Helton.
Got a big cloud cover.
Yeah, this is good. Good start for him here.
Yes.
Like to see.
Stay out, clouds.
To the line comes Helton. Where's he?
Oh, he scraped the wall, too.
Top of the board. No. Wow. Yes. No. Where did
Well, in this section, he is first.
Oh, okay. Damn it. I got all excited for nothing. I was looking at, man. All right. I'm going home. I'll see you guys later. Top of the board.
But
in this
seriously,
session. All right.
Not a bad time. That was 3 or 4 degrees hotter than what anybody else has qualified in. Did Logan Helton run that lap? So, I mean, honestly, that was a pretty good lap there from Logan.
All right, this is gonna mess me up because I'm watching the timing and scoring screen. Oh my god, I can't even talk anymore. The timing and scoring stream from Josh Mendoza on his Twitch channel, and it just has everybody compiled into one list, not on the session. Yeah,
these are a lot of excuses. Let's just rely on the wonderful graphics package that we provide.
If I had a Thrustmaster T818, I wouldn't make these mistakes.
That is true. You would be more on it.
Yeah, unbelievable. I gotta talk to them. Maybe they'll send me one.
Yeah, we'll work on it. We know a guy.
They've sent me stuff before.
All right, this guy here, pole sitter in the 2021 edition, took the first challenge. Remember, Witt's RC Racing Products offering the pole sitter, the Firecracker 400, the ability to start last for an extra $10,000. Nick Ottinger said he didn't have the speed, though. Do we believe him?
No.
Well, we're about to find out. Looks like, did he bottom out there for a second?
He kind of blinked out for a second. But I don't know. This looks really similar to what Busa and Kati ran, so I'm not too hopeful.
No, that's pretty high up in 3 and 4. Question then, is it even good enough to be in the top 20 tonight? Wait for it, David.
I'm not saying anything.
16. Wow.
669.
They have not brought the speed here tonight. That is going to, I think that could be tight to make the top 20 from what we're seeing. That could be really, really tight.
Here we go. One of the biggest trash talkers, self-hype men. I don't know, Blake. What else could we call Frisch?
I don't really know what else we can call him, but I know he is hyped about this. And, I put on a lot of 87 events here on iRacing. He's won a number of them. He's as capable, I think, as anyone of challenging Alec Martinez right now for the pole. So I'm keenly watching this lap.
All right.
By the way, track's cooled down about 7 degrees since Logan Helton ran his lap, so might set up well here for Frisch.
This is a guy who's probably put in at least 3,000 laps trying to perfect this thing. Very comfortable in these cars. Very confident young man. Michael P., Pushin' P., Miguel Paludo Frisch. Is it the perfect lap? I saw that sun tuck away right as he took the green flag. How about that?
There's a cloud cover. You don't see it shining on that race car.
It's also less wind in this session. It was 6 miles per hour southwest, which is a headwind down the backstretch. So that is one advantage in this session over the first one.
That thing
he's already
landed in 3.
Yeah, he's already knows exactly what he's going to run at this point already. He already knows. He knows what it's going to be.
Oh, is he going to crash, though? Oh, he might hit the rest of the field. Oh, man.
Oh,
wow.
what a save.
What a show-off. What a show-off. P3 for Frisch. He's just showing off.
Wow.
I mean, he was inches away from hitting. I mean, he... What would we have done? Brian Blackford was inches away from getting hit there.
It would have hung up things a little bit, but yeah, he would have definitely gone to a backup, somehow saved that. Well, I hope he didn't spin that motor backwards. We'll have to see what the team says afterwards, if they'll check that motor out and see if he spun it backwards.
Yeah, I'll have to put a boroscope in there and see what's going on in there. But he ties the lap of Kevin McAdams, 5/1000ths off the top time set by Alec Martinez, and you know he's going to be happy with that because that's probably standing a pretty good chance of locking in the top 20, but you know he's also pissed because he missed it by just that much.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, if you're Brian Blackford here, you know, one thing I love, or I mean, I kind of hate it, but I love about this qualifying is when you're sitting on pit road, you've kind of probably left your Discord at that point. It's just you and it's quiet. You can hear Josh calling people out to tell you to go drive. But other than that, it's silent. And you're just kind of sitting in your own little bubble, own little world. Parker, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. But then if you're Brian, you just had a car fly right by you just before you're probably getting ready to put it in gear to head out. So how does that change Brian's mindset here?
Yeah, he's got to center himself. He's got that right front off the ground. Brian Blackford, good friend of E-Racer in the Firecracker 400. Huge help in making this event happen each time it's happened. I have to say this just because Landon's not here, but he always says, I'd like to see Brian Blackford in a black Ford. We've never gotten it, though. Choosing a Chevy here tonight.
And a livery that you'll see in his upcoming game, Drafty Car, which we have already seen a couple of ads for here. Make sure to go to Steam and wishlist Drafty Car. We even have a lower third for it. A new racing game, Drafty Car, coming soon to Steam. I already wishlisted it.
It's cool. I've been able to see some early, in the early renderings, the naming of it. It's really just obviously about drafting, but it's, I can't remember, what was the name of the arcade game we all loved like that? It's a newer version of that, basically.
The one thing Brian has incorporated that game, though, is the customization of the physics. You can change the horsepower, side draft, the air bubble, all of those things, as it looks like that's a pretty solid lap for Blackford, a 6.23.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good lap.
Pretty
good lap. Yeah.
It's a great lap.
And the name of that game back in the day was called Nasty Car.
That's right. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, the classic arcade title, the top-down racer. Basically, Blackford's taken that and put it into a 3D world. I'm looking forward to that. I've lost countless hours of my life to Nasty Car over the years.
We all did, and it was, you know, 20 years ago, Landon and I would be like, we wish someone would take that and make a new modern version. And that's what he's doing with Drafty Car. So can't wait to play it. It's going to be fun.
Be the second game put out by Blackford as well. Look at him. He's just turned into a little video game pumping out machine.
I know.
Self-published. Speedway Ringer came out earlier this year. Now getting ready to put out Drafty Car. Good for Blackford.
It's awesome. Really cool. Works with the NASCAR Hall of Fame, who's also a great partner of the Firecracker 400.
Yes, they are. You know, speaking of the Hall of Fame, I was going through some drawers and stuff. I was doing a little spring cleaning this weekend, even though it's summer. And I found my NASCAR Hall of Fame membership card.
Love that.
Yeah, big fan of that. Forgot I had it.
So I'm going to be back down in Charlotte next week for the next probably month or so, month and a half. And I've been meaning to get over there because I'm actually in the Hall of Fame right now. Not particularly me, but a piece of gear I wore last year to win a Mid-Ohio, my suit. That actually has E-Racer on it. So E-Racer is in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. For those that might want to know, you can see it in the memorable moments section. So I haven't been able to go over there and see it, but I can't wait. I want to go check it out.
How about that? That's pretty cool. I'll have to go over and see that. When are you going?
I don't know. I'll let you know. We'll go together.
All right. We can go. Been over there in a hot minute. Due for a trip. As Lee Olson finishes his lap. Ninth for Lee Olson. Not good. Not good at all. We'll have to figure it out. Go back to the drawing board and come back with more speed tomorrow.
Yep. That's a definite second run.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot.
That's very cool. I like that. Big fan of that.
Hey, so we're getting some interesting reports right now. Santiago Gutierrez goes here from El Paso, Texas. E-NASCAR competitor. A certain supercars driver was just announced to be making their Cup Series debut at Indianapolis for Richard Childress Racing, and reports say that very driver is in the server watching some of his friends qualify for this race.
No, he's definitely got a lot of ties into the world of iRacing. Provides his knowledge to a lot of drivers in the world of eNASCAR. Used to be on the same setup team that I'm on, that me, Blake McCandless, Frisch, and others are part of currently. He used to be involved with that, so not really surprised to see one Brody Kostecki in the Surter.
I was going to say, we should probably say his name, Brody Kostecki.
Yeah, he's brilliant when it comes to iRacing setups. One of the best there is, honestly.
Really good. I mean, Blake, you remember when he was with us at Norseforce and just the speed that he would find and provide at all the levels, in Road to Pro, at Coke. I mean, the dude's just a wizard. Not only can he just drive a car in the real world really good, he's pretty good at this stuff, and he can transform it over to setup stuff. Makes him a pretty valuable dude.
That's awesome. Love that. He's also having a big year in supercars.
He is. Santi comes across in P20 with a 42.685. Really not the lap Santi was looking for. Definitely got some work to do there.
Well, again, I think Robert Cattell Roofing, I think that kind of tells you who he may be working with for this Firecracker 400. Former race winner, Brandon Cattell.
The inaugural champion of the Firecracker 400.
The alliances are being set up as we speak. I also got to give a shout out to my crew chief, Patrick Donahue, from the Big Machine Racing team. Texting me right now about judging people's setups here.
What's Patrick doing?
He says more right front up in the air faster. So
when you walk into the shop tomorrow, he's going to be on the setup plate. Be like, boys, we got to change everything.
Yeah,
We've been going about this the wrong way the whole time.
We've got Daytona coming up in a couple weeks. I don't think we should be aiming for this same setup.
You're telling me you don't want the right front in the air when you're driving Pocono long straightaways? I mean, come on.
Pocono, you might have a chance with some of the setups some people run there, trying to get that spoiler out of the air. But I don't know. I think you want all four tires firmly planted on the ground in real life.
Well, that's what we thought about in Sim too, and we've been proven wrong.
That is true.
I guarantee you Patrick's not spending a moment thinking about it after this.
Solid looking lap so far here for TJ Bursk. Thing looks really stable. Does that translate into speed? And again, there's been a lot of sunlight bathing this racetrack here the last couple laps, so starting to pick up a little bit. The temperature probably not going to help these laps.
Uh-oh.
Across the line for TJ, it's a 42.648. Good enough for 14th right now. I'll shout out to Patrick for watching a little sim racing on a Tuesday night. Pretty cool that he's checking it out. Everybody, thank you for watching. Over 40,000 strong on the Twitch side. Appreciate y'all being here.
Definitely. Firecracker 400. It's an event, not just a race, but motorsports tournament.
I'm reading the competitor chat right now, and already after that first session, there's a lot of offers taking place.
Business. Activities.
Definite bartering happening for setups in there, in Discord.
William Schmidt, a fan favorite, hits the track here. William was very excited to make the top 88, posting about it on Twitter using the hashtag Firecracker400, talking about his experience getting through the prelims, preparing for this moment right here to run a lap. And he's already got a lot of support in chat. His friends cheering him on. Very cool. This is one of those Cinderella stories, one of those feel-good stories that we just love to see here in the Firecracker.
And that's the coolest part. We talk about the prelims a lot. We don't talk about it as much as we get to these because obviously there's less of them, but we don't discriminate by license or iRating or anything. If you have the ability to fire up iRacing, you can enter the Firecracker 400 through the prelims, and you make it through, which is highly possible the way those races turn out. You can find yourself here competing against some of the best in the world in the top 88 just to qualify for this race.
Open to one and all, truly. One of a kind like that, where you can see the very top of the mountain and the very, very big support right there. Great save, a kick save and a beauty for William Schmidt as he clocks in with a 43.039. So not great time. P30 for William. He'll have some work to do, but still a lap nonetheless.
It's a lap. It was made. Save the car. Gonna have another chance to do it tomorrow if he wants. I like this car. Thrustmaster all over it. Once again, the Thrustmaster Firecracker 400 T818 direct drive wheel. You guys saw my video about it. I'm on it, being honest. I love this wheel.
I gotta get me one of those.
129 track temperature, almost a 130 for Keister. There's just about to be a huge cloud come over, so...
There we go. And that's
yes.
not just because
Keep it up.
Colin drives for E-Racer in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series.
He talked about E-Racer potentially already is in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. E-Racer could be at the NASCAR Hall of Fame later in September for the Coke Series Championship.
Love that.
That's already in about 2 months or so. It's sneaking up.
Oh, did they announce that that's happening?
Well, I would assume it's happening again.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Blake speaks for somebody. Moving on.
Big news right here. You heard it here first, folks. On the E-Racer Firecracker 400 broadcast, Blake McCandless promises that the Coke Series Championship race is once again a live event at the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
That said 216 that time. I know it. My eyes did not deceive me.
No, it says 216, and we're saying it says 216. I don't care what the server says.
I don't
Here
care.
he comes.
We're getting the real telemetry. Cross the line.
We got SMT.
Exactly.
42.650 for Colin Keister. Good enough for 16th right now as he splits Connor Horn and Tucker Minter, shoving Mike Conti out of the top 20.
Connor Horn is quite aggressive in the Twitch chat I'm seeing here.
What else is new?
We might have to mute him.
Yeah, he's big on the truth in his own world. He'll learn. He'll learn.
Love the look of this car. If you don't give it a 10 out of 10, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, it's Nathan Rabadabadoo, who always has one of the best synthwave retro vibe looking paint schemes, which holds a place near dear to my heart because that's a whole thing that I'm into as well. I've met Nathan, enjoyed talking with him. Really nice guy to talk to, and brings a really cool energy. Every time E-Racer puts on an event, you can count on him being here.
He does. He always puts on a show.
And look at that mustache. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he's got a smile of confidence there. Smirk of confidence.
Yeah, I like it. Not afraid to send it, and he does right there. Look at that. Kind of a tighter line, almost right to the yellow line through the middle
That's
of 1
really
and 2.
good, though. Really good
That
exit.
And he got a cloud right there as well. This has all the makings of a really strong lap right here.
This does look good. Big cloud. Great paint scheme. Sometimes race cars are fast when they look fast. Or just
Telling
make you
you,
happy.
man. What's it going to be? Is it as fast as it looks to the line?
Oh.
No. It's
No,
not 42.652. 17th fastest. For Nathan Rabba Dabba Doo.
So 14th through 17th, that's 4 1,000ths of a second, just between those couple of positions. That's how close it is.
Oh boy, here we go. Here's the great offender from 2 years ago who brought the Carolina squat to a stock car and put Landon Cassill into an early mental asylum. I've never seen Landon so mad.
What do they call it? The Snowball Derby, the Room of Doom, wherever. Landon had a Room of Doom occurring over the setup that Ryan Doucette brought last year or 2 years ago.
Landon, watching from home, sent us a picture of his TV, glorious flat screen TV with a thin bezel mounted over a fireplace.
Well, Landon actually went to the beach to get us accurate weather before this qualifying. So he's actually at the very beach trying to get us that weather. He was sending in some information. For some reason, it seems like we've had some sort of technical difficulty in able to get his live cut in here. But yeah, he is at the beach getting the real-time weather as we speak.
Wow. That's dedication right there. That's the kind of dedication that makes your podcast the most critically acclaimed racing podcast in the world.
No, we go to epic lengths to get the information, to get the truth. In no way whatsoever is he on vacation. This is a purely business trip.
Yeah, as it should be. Well, here comes Ryan Doucette. What's it going to be? Across the line, Doucette clocks in with a 42.681.
Which should put him just
23rd.
Yeah. So, I mean, just look how close these times are. Love that 77, by the way. I mean, look, you're now, the cutoff is 7/100ths of a second from pole. This is going to be incredibly tight to make the top 20. It might be a half a tenth.
And how about Nick Ottinger went for 10 grand in the last Firecracker 400, and he's going to have to decide whether he wants to run tomorrow or not already. Already locked out of the top 20.
He could be in danger of missing this race.
I mean, there's no doubt. We all can agree that group has some work to do. A lot of people have a lot of work to do, but that's a surprise that group has work to do as Bobby Zelensky takes to the track.
This one could be fast. Bobby Zelensky, eNASCAR competitor, eNASCAR winner. Seems like about every time I turn around, he's winning something big.
Won the Chicago Street Course race.
Of course, anytime it's a road course, right?
Except for that 1 year where he got a lot of really good competition from Mitchell DeYoung. But Mitchell's not in the series anymore, and Bobby went back to the ascendancy of basically dominating anything where they turn left and right.
He's on that Chase Elliott road course run right now.
The old Chase Elliott, not current Chase Elliott.
Yeah. 2019.
Gen 6 Chase Elliott road course type pack.
There you go.
Yeah, here comes Bobby to the line.
Oof. Just barely.
42.663. Goes 20th, knocks Seth the Merchant out.
0.069 out for it. Time to lead.
I would love to hear. Zach's talking. Let's hear from Landon. Where's Landon?
What's up,
Oh, there's
Firecracker
Landon.
400
Oh, wow.
viewers? Landon Cassill here. Little weather report from the beach. I wanted to make sure that you guys got the most accurate weather reporting for qualifying today for the Firecracker 400. We are setting the pole and setting the bump line. The top 20 are locking in today. From the beach here, it is pretty sunny. There's just a few clouds in the air kind of moving through. Just a light wind that I think will affect the cars coming off of the ocean. And it's all going to be about that draw. I mean, we know there's a lot of preparation involved, a lot of skill, but just some luck of the weather. Hopefully, maybe some big clouds will roll in later and really create some uncertainty for these competitors. We'll be checking in a little bit.
Okay, a couple questions here. First of all, can we show a topless man on Twitch? Second of all, did he have sunblock on? Third of all, clearly that was live.
that was live. Timing, as we see Aaron Smith here going. I really appreciate him going to the lengths he did to get that weather report. Now we know that is the current weather. We're seeing it here for Aaron Smith's lap. The sun is out just like it was in his weather report from the beach. From the beach.
Well, that was certainly a first for E-Racer.
First in sim racing. How many sim racing events have this level of accuracy? Be honest.
How many sim racing events have had a topless man on their broadcast?
That might have been a first as well.
Where else but the Firecracker?
Didn't E-Racer already get banned on Twitch once during this event? Oh!
That was close to the wall off of 4.
Really close to the wall for Aaron Smith. Yes, we've already been banned off Twitch once. Trying not to do it again as he almost gets the wall past the start-finish line. Wow, really pushing the issue there. Not a great lap. 42.725 for Aaron Smith. Got some work to do there. Good enough for 29th.
Look at this car. Love that. Adam Cabot from New Jersey.
There you go. Monday Night Racing champion. He beat me.
Ooh.
He
Okay.
posted on Twitter a couple of days ago.
So quiet.
Yeah.
Is that still a sore subject?
I mean, no.
I mean, it wasn't just that he
family-
beat him. He beat him in person.
Yeah, he beat me in person. Like, I had to look him in the eye and go shake his hand, which I did. I was the first person to do it. But he flew all the way down from New Jersey. His parents flew down from New Jersey to watch it. Like, if I was going to lose to a guy, I guess that was okay.
That's great sportsmanship of you.
Yeah, well, doesn't make me
Now-
any happier, but
Adam was saying, or he tweeted a couple days ago, that he was an independent driver looking for some help for this setup. So he's working on his own. See what
Do
kind
we
of
know if
speed he
anyone
put
came
in
to
it.
his rescue?
I do not know the answer to that.
He's got the right
front's
front
a
in
little
the
off
air.
the ground, so he
Yeah.
must have heard something from somebody.
See, it
No,
doesn't
I
look
like
bad.
Adam. I like Adam. Nice guy, great sim racer, very competitive dude. Doesn't do it a whole lot, but still has the talent to sit down and operate at a pretty high level.
I love that about sim racing.
Across the line for Cabot.
Where does he stack up?
A 42.709. Just a little bit faster than the previous car, Aaron Smith. So Cabot not going to be into the top 20s. We look at the 20, number that's near and dear to my heart, but Wyatt Tinsley is using it here tonight. Part of the North Force Racing Group, races for Pioneers in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. Now, Blake, as somebody who's also a part of North Force Racing, are all of the North Force boys using the same group of setups to work with, or are you all on your own stuff?
Well, there's slight variation, but I think, there's kind of a general consensus on what everybody wants to run. Apparently nobody wants to run what I ran.
Well, the best thing you can do is run what you got and go out and beat all of them, and then they're going to be mad that they didn't.
We'll see. I probably can't top Frisch, though. That was a really good lap.
Why don't you just run what Frisch run?
Well, I probably will.
Oh, okay.
But he executed it very well.
Gotcha. Tinsley starts his lap. Nice kid. Got to meet Wyatt Tinsley earlier this year at Richmond. Got to meet his dad. His dad is wild. Like, his dad is so wild. If you've ever met Wyatt's dad, he is just like, first of all, I was in complete shock because it's not what I expected, but he was super cool, awesome to meet, fun to talk to. And yeah, I got a special place in my heart for the number 20, so I hope that he puts down a good lap.
Hey, just a little update on our timing scoring. As you see there down on the left, we're going to start rotating all the times below 17th there. So you'll start to see all these times start rotating as we have so many drivers that have run. So if you're looking for your favorite driver, where they stacking up, just take a look left.
There's Wyatt.
He ran a 6.67. Good for 22nd right now is what we're hearing.
Is it just me, or does this session just seem like it's not pumping out the fast times, Blake?
That appears to be the case. Now, granted, there is a large cloud over the entire racetrack right now. So that is going to help. And again, with the cloud cover, we've seen these massive swings. It was 128 2 cars ago. Now it's 123. So the cloud cover, I think, more than anything, has a pretty big difference. It's 90 degrees in this session. It stayed 88 the entire opposite session, so a little bit hotter. But the other thing, the other big difference was that I actually thought would help this session is the wind right there. You can see it's 4 miles per hour, but a southwest wind here at Daytona. That's a headwind down the back straightaway. You'd imagine that's where you want a tailwind, and that was higher in the last session. So I feel like that would be a slight advantage in this session, but hasn't really turned out to be the case so far.
There you go. Garrett Maines, next on track. Definitely a lap with a lot of potential. We're working to get this little bottom portion working here. Of course, here's what we want. Zach tries to do it, then it doesn't work the way we want it, and then we yell at Zach. Typical.
Yeah. Welcome to E-Racer Productions. Zach does
Live
a great
TV,
job.
baby.
Great job.
Yeah, we love Zach. Big Zach fan. Doing his best. Here comes Garrett. The line. What's it going to be for Maines? Oh, that's a good lap. 42.64, one of the faster laps that we have seen in this session. The 4th fastest lap that we've seen out of this session, to be exact, as Garrett Maines slots into 14th position.
Top 15, that's big. That's big.
And again, I think that's a time, if you're Garrett, you're these other drivers, that, again, it may not last you to the top 20 tonight, but again, I think that starts to kind of play into consideration of if you want to sit out and stand on your time tomorrow. I think that's you're getting close to that territory there if you're Maines, even if you don't stay in the top 20 the rest of the night.
Jackson Crowder from Greensboro, North Carolina. Here in the 54.
Do want to mention we are more than halfway through
Yes.
pole day.
It's flown by.
It is. It's not. We're not going to be here until tomorrow.
We've kept this one a little bit on a tighter time schedule. Look at us. We're learning.
Amazing. We can do it.
Thanks to all the viewers out there. Be sure to type in exclamation point giveaway or exclamation point T818 to enter the Thrustmaster T818 giveaway that we're doing throughout the Firecracker 400 event. Awesome direct drive wheel. You want one of these. Trust me, I'm not just saying it. I have one, and it's the only wheel I'm going to be using.
Look at that. Brand new lower third. Didn't have that last week. Nice job, boys. Brian Blackford coming through in the clutch with that lower third. Oh, it's beautiful.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, big Thrustmaster
Oh,
fan.
big bobble from Crowder in 3 and 4.
That was
Eagle.
That was a moment. That was a moment. That's going to cost him some time for sure. Whatever he had cooking, Might have just burnt.
Oh, don't crash.
It's all right. He's good.
All right, all right. I have to check
Bend
that
it
motor.
around there. As long as it doesn't grip. As long as it doesn't grip flip right there. Okay, he's good.
All right, all right, all right. Didn't spin that
Cross
motor
the line.
backwards. Clutched it.
42.746 for Jackson Crowder.
It's a beautiful shot.
Look at that. Lake Lloyd. You can see all the individual fish with that new advanced rendering technology brought to us by the fine folks at iRacing.
How about that?
Yeah, look at the
Individual
wind.
rocks.
The wind is moving in the sim with the direction. That's pretty awesome right there.
That's incredible.
16 times the detail.
iRacing, I'm not just saying this because we're on their platform, but man, I mean, I was a part of this back in the early days, 09, and to see where this platform has grown into and become, Steve Myers, the whole group, just do an incredible job. Look at that. That's cool. That's the type of stuff that you wouldn't think matters in a racing simulation. And then it's there and you think, well, that's really cool. Thanks. That's the kind of stuff they think about. Speaking of which, being really cool, Colin Bowden.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Pretty nice.
Nice.
It's your driver, Parker. That is your driver.
I know. Bullet Man himself.
Parker, how do you respond to Colin's claims that he's not allowed to have an opinion or personality? How do you handle it?
Well, we let him be him. That's our motto at E-Racer. He does a great job for our partners. Represents them well. He has a really interesting sort of workout routine. The 8-ounce curl, followed by the New Orleans Mardi Gras festivities multiple times a year. Each and every time we expect him to show up pretty much ready to just about wax the field in eNASCAR. So really proud of that.
Wax in the eNASCAR field on Tuesdays, wax in a frat house on Wednesdays.
Go-kart racer does a good job of that. Money lap on that car, by the way. Money lap podcast. Let's see what he's able to throw down here.
Is this the
Clean
money lap?
Let's see.
Oh, look at the time. 42.619.
Oh, no. No.
Oh, God. No. Of course he would.
Colin.
Oh, my God. That car is destroyed.
Well, that is going to be a backup.
That was not a money
How is he moving? How is he moving?
I would expect nothing less from our buddy there for putting on a show. That's awesome.
I mean, he goes seventh fastest. And it just killed the car.
Oh, I think he just blew the motor.
Let's take a look at it. Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, just caught the grass after a hop.
That transition across the road course did not help him.
That's a lot. That is a lot of... First he barrel rolled, and then he did end over ends. That is a certified Colin Bowden moment.
That was wild. I've got a text that some people think that was a Ricky Rudd style wreck. Wow. Realistic.
That was huge.
Huge. We'll see if that makes it in. I mean, that P7 this far into it, I think that could be safe. He's going to make the top 20. He'll be racing the Firecracker 400. He will absolutely be in a backup car. So the old E-Racer team is going to have to dig deep in the pockets. We're gonna charge Landon for this one.
I mean, he tears up all of your cup cars on the eNASCAR side, and now he just tore up your 87 car.
Yep. Yeah, it's been tough to keep equipment in check with him. But you know what? When he puts in speeds like he did there, we'll keep supporting him.
Motorsports in a nutshell right there.
Exactly. Represents the partners well. Make sure we get good TV time.
That's it. You know what? You want to talk to him?
We should.
Get him in here. Colin Bowden. Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. How about y'all?
First and foremost, are you all right?
Well, we're going to have to send that bill, another crash bill, to the old E-Racer shop. That list is getting long there, but We timed the cloud right there. We got a lucky break, and I think that's going to be okay. I really don't want to do that lap again. I ain't got the nerves to do that much too many times. As you can tell as I was flipping over there.
How hard was it?
Well, it's been pretty hard because, I mean, I got something wrong with my kidneys at the same time, man. I've been having to piss all day long, like 3 times an hour. I think I got a kidney stone or something. So we call this Jordan flu game right there. That's the best lap in the history of iRacing.
Wait a sec. Hold on.
I'm writing it down right now.
For as much as you drink, there's no way you have a kidney stone.
Well, it's alcohol. I guess that makes sense.
I thought you meant you were hydrating with water.
Oh, I've been doing it the last couple of days, and man, I just keep pissing like a fire hydrant. This shit is just, I'm bad off right now. I mean, like, I'm on death's door and just laid that lap down. These boys ain't got nothing for me if I was healthy.
That's a money lap, buddy. I think you can be good. I think you'd be in the top 20.
I think if that's not in top 20, I think I'm going to stand on it either way. I can't afford to crash twice. Y'all have cut me down on, kind of what I can crash these days.
That's fine. We're digging into Landon's pockets.
So, yeah, he's at the beach. He deserves to get his pockets dug in at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't even know what's hitting him right now. And I think you're going to be good. I think you will definitely be in a backup. You'll be.
Yeah, I don't think that'll buff.
No, not at all.
I appreciate you, Colin. Enjoy the rest of your night, and if you keep on the way you are, just go get it checked out, all right?
I'll try. Appreciate it.
See you, buddy.
There you go. Colin Bowden. Yeah, definitely one of the best interviews in sim racing that you could hope to get is Mike McConville. Makes his lap. That was Jake Nichols, by the way, that completed his lap at a 42.637, slots into 5th fastest of this session, 15th fastest overall. And again, another underdog story here, Mike McConville. Been watching a lot of people. I've seen him in chat saying that he is dreadfully slow, not even in the same ballpark as some of these guys. We'll see what Big Mac's got here. You know, he wasn't lying. 42.766. 36th for Mike McConville. He's got some work to do.
A little bit. Needed to find some speed in that thing.
But he's not terrible. Like, he wasn't the slowest.
Well, what's funny is that is still 0.2 faster than the pole 2 years ago. So you say terribly slow. We're in uncharted territories here tonight.
Uncharted waters. Nathan Lyon on the track. Former competitor in the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. Now a spotter for Femi. He spots for Femi on Tuesday nights.
I like the old Evernham 10 on the font for the number.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. Scott Riggs vibes.
Big time Scott Riggs vibes. Good old Nathan can bust out here. Nice of him to submit the headshot from when he was in the Coke Series a couple of years ago. Don't know what he looks like these days.
We'll take it.
Either that or he still looks the same as he did from back then, and it's a new photo, and I'm just wrong. I don't know.
Well, in sim racing, they say you don't age.
That's true. Maybe that's why I still look so young. I've been doing this for so long.
Well, you're only 22, so
that's true.
Makes sense.
Looks like a pretty tidy lap out of Lyon.
Yeah. I don't know if I saw any.
Does it have speed?
Yeah, I didn't see any large speeds down into 3. Let's see where this stacks up. Hold on to it through the tri-oval.
Nathan Lyon clocks into 42.660, so no, not a whole lot of speed, but something he's probably going to want to have to come back tomorrow to rerun. Let's talk to our... Oh, wait, we got Blake on track. Hold on.
Yeah, so you got to see this. Come on now.
Yeah,
we got Alec Martinez in here. He's our provisional pole sitter right now, but Blake, our third leg, arm, head, somebody part of this broadcast.
Member of the booth?
Yeah. He's ready to go. So, Blake, give us a lap and drive and talk. Do all the things. Be you.
I believe he's muted.
He muted.
Oh, he's muted.
He's
oh,
in
my.
the
Wow.
Okay.
He's focused.
guy-
I gotta respect that. He's focused.
This guy said, "Oh, I'll talk while I'm driving. I don't care. I'll do ball. I'll do everything." Now he doesn't. Unbelievable. All right, Alec, you're sitting on the provisional poll. We'll pivot. Great lap. Talk us through your lap as you watch Blake.
Yeah, no, we were digging the boys at Nexus Esports. They hooked me up, and I got to thank the Clouds, man. The Clouds really helped. But man, David Brown, Kyle Hendricks, they built a great setup, and the Dale Yoda is on the pole right now, so I'm loving it. I kind of a little bit worried about the third session, I guess. I think they're going to be fast, especially once we get to the end of it. But as long as one of the teammates is on the pole, I think that's fine. I wouldn't mind sitting on the pole for this big race. So it'd be kind of cool. But I'll tell you what, Blake McCandless, man, he's a heck of a driver in these 87 cars, and I could see him beating my lap. I'm not really sure what the track temperature is, but yeah, no, these cars are so fun to drive. Firecracker 400 is going to be an awesome event. I love doing this every single year when we have it, and it's going to be fun. But 131 track temp, man, that's hot, and these cars really don't like that. So yeah, it's it's going to be tough to not favorable, especially with these cars, how loose, how on edge they are. You're gonna be sliding around. You're wheeling and dealing in these cars. Oh my goodness.
He just slid it to 3 there.
Not the conditions he was looking for here, Alec. I think you're safe as we watch the end of this lap.
He used it, not to cut you off, Alec. He just used a
you're
ton
good.
of racetrack off of 4.
Yeah, and especially at a super speedway with how much
42.673 for Blake. So that's definitely, and of course, the sun goes behind the cloud as his lap finishes. So he's punching air right now. Unfortunate for him. Probably not something he's gonna be really happy with here.
Definitely wanted more. Alec, I want to ask, as you've been watching all this, because you went so early. So you see Nick Olson pull away here from North Carolina. What have you been seeing? What has worried you? Is any cars worried you really that you've seen go out there with a cloud cover and thought, all right, this is one I'm going to have to beat?
Right now, I mean, pretty much everybody. I don't think I've really ever been in this position, but honestly, I think there's so many guys. If you're on Kevin McAdams' setup, if you're on Michael P. Frisch's setup, I think you're going to be have a good car, and especially as this track kind of gets later into the day, it's going to cool off. And if you get cloud cover at the right time, in a cooler track temp around maybe 115, 117, and you got a good car under you, I think my time is definitely beatable. I hope it's not, but I just think if you look at the cars that are going to be running, I think if you're going to see a pole, it's probably going to be a 58 or a 57, honestly.
Wow.
I hope that my 59 is good enough, but I think there's still a lot of strong, heavy hitters to come, so it's going to be fun, man. But it seems like being in the booth is fun, I'll tell you.
Yeah, we're glad to have you up here, man. What do you think it's going to take to be in the top 20? How close do you have to be to the pole? Right now, we're just over half a tenth.
Oh, man, half a tenth's going to be tough. I hate that Nathan Rabadabadoo, my teammates down there, but yeah, it's going to be really tough. I mean, 59, I think maybe at the end of the day, I think maybe a 63 will be at the end, get you there maybe, but I think it's going to be close. This is really, really tight. I mean, half a second between everybody, and there's still a ton of race cars to go. I think you're going to see it's going to get even tighter and tighter in that storyline of y'all that you guys are covering with how much and how close this field is together. I think you're going to see it's going to be really, really tight
right
into this thing.
Yeah, it was a tenth and a half, or a little more than a tenth and a half 2 years ago to make the top 20. It's obviously going to be tighter than that. All right, so we got to ask you, you're sitting on the pole still. Have you even entertained the thought of if you'll take the WITS RC Racing Products Last to First Challenge for an extra $10,000? Have you thought about it?
I haven't really thought about it, but it doesn't sound too dang bad. I want to go down to Daytona this year and see some of my buddies, but I don't know if it's going to happen. But if we were able to get the pole and take that challenge, I mean, and win it, I think that'd be feasible to go and do that. But no, I think I wouldn't mind doing it, but we still got a lot of fast race cars to go. So hopefully we could keep the old 51 Dale Yoda Chevy Monte Carlo on the pole. But it's kind of concerning right now. There's still a lot of fast cars to go, like I said, but I wouldn't mind doing it. Trust me.
I love it. All right. Well, maybe we'll get to ask you that very question later on in the broadcast.
Heck, I hope.
Yeah, we'll see.
Thank you, Alec.
Well, I appreciate you having me up here,
buddy. Yep.
All right, that was Alec Martinez, your provisional pole sitter. Blake McCandless back in the booth. What happened?
I don't know. I thought that was a really solid lap, and in hotter weather, I was running basically 6.0s earlier today. So I'm kind of surprised right now, but it's definitely not going to be good enough to make top 20, and we're probably going to have to come back out tomorrow. So I don't know. I'm scratching my head right now because I thought that was a really good lap. But that's why,
the weather
that's why
didn't do
this
any
event is so
favors.
hard.
The track temperature was about as hot as we have seen yet.
Yeah,
this
that's the
entire
other thing I
time.
noticed. When I rolled off, it was 131, and it's already back down to 121. So didn't win on the sun lottery there quite.
Kyle Putz completes his lap. Of course, Kyle makes all the trophies for our events here at E-Racer. What kind of lap did Kyle put down? 31st best at a 42.683. Work to do there for Kyle.
We should remind everyone that you're not only going to be racing in the Firecracker 400, obviously, but if you are not able to make the Firecracker 400, there is a Firecracker 200 on Monday. So you will get to race in a similar race. We kind of call it the, think of it as almost like the Xfinity race before the Cup Series. Everyone, tomorrow in terms of rerunning, you will want to, maybe if you don't think you can make the Firecracker 400, you still might want to rerun tomorrow just to get the best starting position possible for the Firecracker 200.
There you go. Yeah, these guys aren't racing, or are not out of anything if they don't make the top 20 or, a good time tomorrow after bump day. They're still racing. They're all guaranteed to do a race next week, whether it's the 200 or the 400. They're in one way or the other in either the sporting event or the feature event. Of course, everyone wants to be in the 400, including this guy right here, Tyler Gary, in the Shenandoah Shine Buick LeSabre. Gary, very active in chat leading up to this lap, sort of putting on a front that he was slow, that he needed help. Dr. iRacing himself, I don't believe him.
You think it was all an act?
I do. I think that he's got plenty of speed. He's over there with the Legacy group. I think they got speed, although we saw a couple of guys from there, I believe, run already, Blake, that maybe they don't have the speed. Maybe he was on.
Well, we're about to get a moment of truth. The chat doesn't think this is a great lap. I'm never sure whether to trust the chat or not.
Never trust chat, ever. If there's one thing I've learned in all these years of streaming, never trust chat.
Yeah, that's good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome. Maybe it's just my chat that lies to me constantly, and that's why I say that, as Gary was slow. That is a 42.759 for Tyler Gary. So he wasn't putting us on. He was, in fact, slow.
He's going to have to do some work if he wants to qualify.
Dylan Basin out of Lakeland, Florida. Next to
nearby.
Roland.
He's just right down the street.
A stone's throw, if you will.
He's just stepping outside his house to see the weather. Let's see if that pays off. We sent Landon Cassill down there for the accurate weather report, brought to you by Thrustmaster, NASCAR Hall of Fame, Jetline Systems, Witt's RC Racing Products. But Dylan Basson, he was right there. Has he used that to his advantage? Will we see an unbelievable lap here with that knowledge that he could have outside his front door?
Well, if not him, then who?
No one else was closer.
No, Kevin McAdams isn't too far away.
We've got a bunch of Lakeland fans in the chat.
Yeah.
One chatter says their uncle's brother's niece lives in Lakeland, Florida. It's a close relationship.
Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of lap will we see out of Basin? Looks like a fairly composed lap, but again, we've seen calm laps be slow. Is this slow for Basin? Across the line, 42.665. Faster than Tinsley, faster than Ottinger, faster than McCandless. Not a bad lap. Not a bad lap.
Where does that slot him in at this point?
That slots him in somewhere.
Well, thank you.
25th, we're being told from Zach Johnson, producer extraordinaire.
25th.
You know who's coming up soon? Well,
who's that?
The two out of the next 3 qualifiers are winners of the Firecracker 400. Here, your inaugural winner, Brandon Cattell, out of Fort Myers, Florida. My mom used to own property in Fort Myers, Florida. She always told us as a kid that she had property in Fort Myers. I don't know why she had property in Fort Myers. We grew up in Ohio.
Well, at least she didn't offer you waterfront property in Ohio.
That's true.
You can think of it that way. Look at that Witt's car. Reminder, Witt's RC Racing Products. Sponsor of the Last to First Challenge. Pole sitter here tonight will be offered the chance to start dead last in the Firecracker 400 for an extra $10,000 if they're able to go from last to winning it.
Three and 4, Cattell. Knows what it's like. One of 2 people on the entire planet who knows what it's like to win a Firecracker 400. What's his lap here?
Oh!
42.632. Good enough
14th.
for 14th. Bumps somebody out of the top 20.
I think that will make the top 20. I'm going to go out on a limb. I do believe that will make the top 20 in the Witt's RC Racing Products car. Reminder, this is the Witt's RC Racing Products $10,000 last to first challenge for today's poll winner. They get the option to start last, and if they're able to go on to win the Firecracker 400, they win an extra $10,000, making the total prize pool over $22,000 for that driver.
A lot of money, Parker. I mean, that's
pretty cool.
That's a lot of money.
Pretty cool.
A lot.
Timmy Holmes.
Timmy Holmes.
That's
another eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series driver. Very cool paint scheme. I like that.
I love that. The old Team Richmond Folgers look. Different sponsor on there. That's a great looking car. That's got to be a 10 out of 10 in the chat. If you give it anything else, you're wrong.
Wow. I mean, is that a Mark Martin throwback? What is that?
I thought it was the Tim Richmond.
Or Tim Richmond. You're right. I'm mistaken.
Well, you know,
Tim
it is a
Richmond
Thunderbird, though. So maybe it is the Mark Martin.
A Thunderuma?
Yeah, it's Mark Martin. I had it all wrong.
Unbelievable. I should have trusted my instincts.
Honestly, the NASCAR Hall of Fame should find me at this moment.
Yeah, get rid of the fire suit right now. Just take it out of there.
Epic display of incorrect history of paint schemes.
Unbelievable. Well, here he is across the line. Timmy Holmes. Where's he slot in? The 42.650, same as Colin Keister.
21st, just barely misses the top 20. Oh.
Who's this, Parker? Who's this?
Hey, you know who that is? That's John Gorlinski, the Dayglow car.
Yeah.
Harrisburg, North Carolina.
Couldn't miss him. No, Zach's apologized for not putting the name up fast enough. That was a joke, because you don't need the name to know who it is.
You don't. You really don't.
We know who it is. Between him and Aaron Smith, they're the only 2 people to run a highlighter-colored car. But I feel like Orlinski did it first, because he's been around for longer, I do believe.
Last car to go in this second session, too.
Oh, hey, Blake.
Hi, Blake.
Hello.
You've been cooling off after that lap?
Well, we've been crunching some, we've been doing a little bit of a debrief here, but, we're figuring it out.
Okay.
All right, don't panic. We believe in you.
Crunching the numbers. Love that.
Selfishly, if you're not racing, we most likely assume you'll be working the broadcast. So, hey, either way.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to give us pit reports with piped-in pit stop sounds if you're not
really know
there to do it?
Great point.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I hope you miss it. Sorry.
I appreciate your confidence, David.
We're actively rooting against you.
It's
Smolinski got first. Remember how he got into this in his prelim? He took 2 tires. It seemed like a terrible choice. He wrecked. That during that wreck was able to keep his position in the top 11.
Is he slowing down?
What's
going on here?
Trouble.
Okay, so I'll tell you what John just did. He thought, okay, that lap isn't good enough. I think the weather is going to be cooler earlier tomorrow, and the order of qualifying is going to be the inverse of speed today. So John is banking on the fact, I don't think my lap's good enough. I want to go out early tomorrow.
What a 300 IQ move.
Wow.
And I'm glad that you're smart enough to figure that out and explain it, Blake. Thank you.
Big brain moves here on Firecracker 400 qualifying, presented by Thrustmaster. Slows at the line to put himself in a better position for tomorrow. Looking at the weather, this is how much they think ahead. You knew that, Blake, because you're a competitor that's looking at these things. We're up here in the broadcast booth just watching cars go in circles, thinking, what the heck's going on here? And there he goes, slowing down, thinking, had already looked at the weather, planned ahead. I love that. That's cool. All right.
Well, again, that's something that I thought about, but also I thought I'd go a lot faster than what I did. I wasn't planning on running a 6.73. But yeah, really interesting to see that this is kind of the point in the game where we would see that start to happen. We weren't going to see it in the first session. But again, depending on the weather in the third session, do we see that again? I don't know. We haven't loaded into that session. We don't know what the track temperature is, if it's hotter, if it's colder. We don't know if it'll be slower or faster than this session. But yeah, a lot of strategy in this race. These guys want to make it really bad. But of course, if he has a terrible lap tomorrow, he's probably going to wish he had that one back.
Well,
guess we'll have to wait around and find out.
That too. Plus, we're probably going to have to check in with race control on this one, guys, because this is a little bit against the. We can't have multiple cars doing this. This is a little against the idea of 2-round qualifying. So I would stay tuned on that one to see what if there's any sort of decisions made by race control going forward in this process and through the Firecracker 400 on slowing down purposely before you end your lap. Or
intrigue, drama, right here. Where else? But the Firecracker 400. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick commercial break, get the third session set up and ready to fire off. You are watching Pole Day for the 2023 Firecracker 400, presented by Thrustmaster.
Our family stories are your family stories, except with more confetti.
Relive racing history with a walk along Glory Road, or try your hand at our fan favorite racing simulator or pit crew challenge. Feel the passion and thrill of racing with stories and artifacts from the legends who shaped the sport in the Hall of Honor and Heritage Speedway.
Visit the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte for the ultimate outing. NASCAR Hall of Fame, this is our sport. This is our house.
Welcome back to coverage of Pole Day for the 2023 Firecracker 400, presented by Thrustmaster. As you take a look at Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing. Current weather forecast on the screen for you as well, as we get set for the third group of drivers to head out and put down their tail of the tape time. Cooler, much cooler, 119 track temp. Blake's looking at this, shaking his head, I'm sure.
More like shaking my fist at the sky, but you know what? not much we can do about it now.
Old man shouts at clouds. He's a young man, but you know you get the way that I'm trying to work it out there as we get set for the defending, most recent champion of the Firecracker 400 out of Hagerstown, Maryland, Michael Cozy Jr. That picture freaks me out of him, though, because he doesn't have his mustache, and that just doesn't look like him.
I agree. Does not look like him in the slightest.
Can we get an updated Michael Cozy Jr. picture?
How long has he had the mustache, though? I thought he's kept that around for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a brief period of time where he didn't have it, and obviously maybe it was for that Firecracker a couple of years ago. I'm surprised he didn't submit his Coke Series headshot for this. Unbelievable. Well, we've been a little bit underwhelmed by the speed that Altus Esports has brought to Daytona so far, looking at some of his teammates that have already run, and Seth DeMerchant, Ryan Doucette, Tucker Minter, all of whom are now out of the top 20. Did they find something? Did Cozy go to work and possibly find something to help him extract a little more speed? The conditions certainly more favorable for him, Parker, to put down a good lap.
Right? We like Michael Cozy Jr. being a part of this event. Big following out there.
For my money, behind Colin Bowden, the second most marketable driver in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. Probably the most sponsor-friendly.
Definitely.
Drives for Front Row Motorsports. Had a pretty good rookie campaign, too, I must say, as he works through 3 and 4. What is it going to be for Cozy? Who also took a golf ball to the face yesterday, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, went out golfing with a buddy and took a golf ball to the face and was bleeding. The lap for Michael Cozy Jr. 42.642.
17th. That is going to be tight.
Kind of right in line with the rest of his Altus Esports guys.
And they are all going to be right at the cut line.
Take a look at Malik Ray and a beautiful paint scheme. Look at the flowers on there. That's really cool. I like that. While we look at Malik's car and he gets set to make his run, let's talk to the man that currently is tied for second. Was the first car out on the track and has basically been towards the top of the pylon for the last hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever we've been doing. Kevin McAdams, who thinks all of our data is false. Kevin, what's on your mind?
I did not say your data was false. That is fake news. But you know, we're relieved. Yesterday, if you watched Josh's top 88 selection, I honestly was pretty dejected about rolling off first. I knew that if a rainstorm, which was projected to hit at 2, that was going to be the absolute best session. And you know, I still think that can be the case. Right now, the track temp is around 110 degrees, 111 degrees, which was about 8-9 degrees cooler than what I ran. So, you know, still a long way to go. Still about 30 guys left to go. But, you know, I'm really satisfied with the time. I don't really think I could have gotten much else out of it. So, you know, we'll wait it out here next, 20, 30 minutes or so, next hour or so, and, hope for the best.
All right. Anything else? Who hasn't gone yet that you're scared of?
My own teammates. Sean comes to mind. Jordan Worth is on the same setup. Nate Stewart. A lot of guys. I also, Eddie Kerner. I think anyone that's on the same setup that Frisch and Nexus has. Martinez obviously on that setup. So, there's a lot of heavy hitters left. I honestly think we'll see maybe 10 guys here crack the top 20 in this session.
Whoa. Big lap out of Malik Ray right there. 42.597 for Malik Ray. Wait for the timing and scoring to update to slot him in there. That should put him second, and indeed it does by 3/1000ths of a second. So right off the bat, here in session number 3, Malik Ray goes to the top of all those who have run in this session, but to second place there, the first really, truly big lap time that we have seen in quite some time. So, Kevin, now third. You're still not worried, right?
Like I said, you never know. You never know.
All right, there you go. Kevin McAdams, currently third on the scoring pylon. Kevin, thanks for talking to us.
Hey, thank you.
All right, there you go. Kevin McAdams. Here's Cosman. He owns the shoe.
He was a late addition into this field, too. Didn't initially qualify in. Finished 12th in his prelim. But with a little bit of a last-minute substitution, he was bumped up into the field. So you have to wonder, he probably didn't have that much time to test or to really hone in his qualifying, so a late addition. We'll see where he ends up.
You always got to be ready to go. Cosman got the call that he was the next man up. He's ready to rock out there. What an opportunity for Cosman as well. Going from the lowest of lows, basically being the first one out, to the highest of highs, being elevated into the top 88. And I believe, as he said in his own tweet, not under the circumstances or the way that he wanted to get there, but that's the way it goes. Just like in real racing, in sim racing, you always got to be ready to be the next guy to go. And Cosman is that guy here for this edition of the Firecracker 400. What's the lap look like? For Cosman, slots in with a 42.605. What a lap! P7 for Cosman. How about that?
The pole sitter is going to come out of this session. That's or at
Already.
least that's my guess right here. 109 track temp. Very, very cool. I think we're about to see a lot of fast laps be laid down here.
Was conventional wisdom said it wasn't going to be this one. It would be the early one, was it not?
Well,
that seemed to be the consensus.
See? That's why you can't predict it.
Unbelievable. Michael Guest takes to the track.
From Brownsburg, Indiana, racing area. A lot of USAC racing, drag racing teams out there.
2 out of the 3 competitors in this group have already gone into the top 7, when maybe one driver from the last session got into the top 10.
Oh, yeah.
2 out of them got into the top 10.
Maybe
so
2?
Yeah, there's already just a ton of speed in this session. There you go. 109 track temperature. Very favorable for big lap times here if you hit it.
The bubble, 6.43. Just around half tenth.
I think that further underscores kind of just how much Altus missed it. Because Cozy was in this group, was he not? He was
correct. Yeah.
He was in this group, and he still couldn't put up a lap time close to what Malik or Cosman put down.
They really did. That whole team just did not bring the speed here.
Well, I'm sure they'll find it. If there's a group out there that can go to work and find something that's missing, I have a lot of confidence in them. As Guest completes his lap, 42.605, same as Cosman.
Wow.
For Michael Guest, the speed is here in this group. As he'll slot into 8th on the not a tiebreaker, but down to the 4 digits. Puts him 1,000th behind.
These are some tight times, too. This is unbelievable.
There are some people that are getting very nervous right now.
Very
nervous. First and second sessions. I see Casey Kerwin in chat. He's a nervous boy. Parker White hits the track. Well, 3 out of the 4 cars that have run already have gone faster than him.
Wow. You're right. Colin Bowden.
And we have what?
Ryan
So
Black,
this is 63rd.
right
So
I mean, all these
we have
big names.
And there's 26 more drivers theoretically that are going to run in this session. So, yeah, if I was in the top 10 right now, I would be nervous.
Oh,
this
boy.
is a big one right here. This is a prime time candidate for a big lap. Parker White, another eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series driver.
Great
representing
first name.
Force Force Racing.
That's worth at least 1/1000th.
Fun fact about Parker White as we look at another beautiful lower third for Thrustmaster. Fun fact about Parker White, he's into airplanes and flying. Hopefully he keeps all 4 tires on the ground and doesn't do any flying in this event.
That would not be recommended.
He's taken very well to Moon Car that runs the 87 cars a lot.
It's true. It's very true. Here he comes to the line. What's the lap time for Parker White?
What's he got?
Not quite as good. 42.621. I'll put him 11th to match the number on his car.
Just outside of the top 10.
And 1/1000th better than his teammate in Colton Salett.
Kind of a surprise there.
Eric Smith from Joliet, Illinois. It's where the Chicagoland racetrack was. Come to me for your facts on these hometowns.
Good old Chicagoland. Missed that track.
Used to call it Joliet Land. Now we race in downtown Chicago.
You have any good Chicagoland speedways stories?
Plenty. One time I basically had a truck race won there in 2011. And my crew chief said, I came in the pits and I nailed the stop. And I looked over him and I gave him a thumbs up. And then I stalled it on exit and I finished.
Oh, no.
Had the race won.
Oh, that is embarrassing.
Yep, that one hurt.
The ego.
Yep. My enthusiasm got the better part of my ability at the time.
I guess better to be over-enthusiastic when you're at a dead stop than when you're going at speed and bust your butt trying to be enthusiastic without grip.
That is true. That's when enthusiasm outlives the grip level. And then you're right.
Eric J. Smith, pretty good-looking lap right here. What's he got? Drafty car on the hood. Is it a good lap? 42.613. So again, continues the trend of really good lap times coming out of this group.
Faster
as
than
the
the other,
into the 10th position.
And a bit faster than the other drafty car of Brian Blackford.
Right.
Here's a heavy hitter.
Yep. 0-time eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series winner, Chris Overland.
That's one way to put it.
It's a running joke. And again, as somebody who used to spot for Chris a million years ago in that series, I can roast him like that.
That's all right. Chris is a huge supporter of this event. He puts a lot of effort into it. He's been texting me about this event starting a month or 2 months ago. He's tried to help it out here and there. So cool to see him here. And I feel like he's one of those competitors that you just know if you're going to win the Firecracker 400, you're most likely going to have to go up against Chris Overland.
Guy's fast. He knows what he's doing. I remember one time he walked me through the finer points of completing a perfect qualifying lap at Talladega, and just the amount of information that he was able to communicate in such a specific manner was really impressive.
Yeah, he really spends a lot of time on his craft. We'll see if he's brought the speed here.
Well, again, we talked about how fast this session initially started. It's back up to 119, almost 120, now that we've seen a little bit of the cloud cover go away. So not quite as fast as it launched off with Malik and Cosman and some of those laps that were set really early in the session.
What does Overland have here?
Talk about a perfect line all the way around.
He knows the line. He's all about it. 42.631. So 100th slower than Parker White.
Just barely in. That slots him in 19th. Oof. I don't know if that's going to be safe. I don't think so. Although it is getting, like you pointed out, it's getting hotter. So we'll see. But an ill-timed cloud with a fast car, that could be an issue.
Justin Nasir hitting the track. The 66th driver to take a time here. That, by my math, means that we are closing in on the end of this thing.
Flies by. And that's not just
I mean,
fast laps.
No, well, I mean, on a comparative basis, if this was last week, it would have been about halfway through.
This was last week, we'd be signing up for the third day.
Well, yeah, that reminds me of Car Anomaly. That race flew by. 500 miles, it went by so quickly, and, that'll happen when you're going, 230 miles an hour at Daytona. And honestly, this race, 400 miles, at least when I ran it 2 years ago, it'll really sneak up on you. That race just absolutely flies by.
Yep. And, I mean, look at the speeds. I mean, we're never below 205, 207 around on these qualifying laps. Well over 200 mile per hour average speeds here today. These are fast cars.
The line for Justin, the slowest of this group at a 42.648. Surprising. Again, we're only talking about 4/100ths of a second, Parker. It's not like we're talking about tenths of a second.
I don't know if as we look at Corey Carpenter here from Boone, North Carolina, who's going to be heading out there. I don't know if we've stressed this enough, how close this is. This year was 26th. I mean, this is unbelievable. 2 years ago, it was over a tenth and a half from first to 20th. It is now going to be under half a tenth. This is wild. There's nothing in it. There's nothing. There's such little tiny things that make those differences. It's a move of the wheel. It's a slight miscalculation on the line. It's tire pressure. It's a cloud. It's a slight deviation of the wind. There's nothing in the difference of these times as we look across the top, 30, 35, 40.
The very narrow margin of error for all these drivers. Drafty car. Blackford spilled the beans in chat, by the way. Said it's coming out this weekend. So go to Steam, wishlist Drafty car. It's coming out this weekend. I'm not going to Pocono, and now I know what I'm going to be doing this weekend.
Perfect. I will be racing in the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series and doing TV on Sunday. So I've triple duty. So I will not be able to play Drafty car until I get home Sunday. Well, probably Monday. It'll be a Monday thing.
Wow, the rare triple header, quite the flex to put on us mere mortals, Parker.
Yep.
As Carpenter completes the lap. What's it going to be for Corey? 42.645, nearly matching the lap of Michael Cozy Jr., so not quite the lap I don't think that Corey was looking for. And look at this. Quite possibly the best paint scheme in the entire field for Jordan Worth.
Probably the best headshot,
Davy Fest. Oh, yeah. Best headshot, best paint scheme. Davy Fest out here in Daytona Beach. Just soak it in. Fantastic.
Looks like he has fun.
Home racetrack, too.
Indeed it is.
We thought Lakeland was close. He can just head right outside. He's there already. If that's not worth the 10th, I don't know what is.
If Jordan Worth doesn't deliver a great lap here, there's going to be a lot of very disappointed people.
Well, the stands are packed, and then we have to believe that's Jordan Worth fans. They're in Daytona Beach. You can hear the crowd roaring over the engine.
God, that's such a great paint scheme, man. I love it.
It is cool. That's a 10 out of 10.
A lot of speed there. A lot of speed through the center of the corner.
Not
Looking
using
good.
a ton of racetrack off of 2. This is looking good. He's been known to have some speed. Right
yeah.
front up in the air, down the back stretch.
Kevin said this was one to watch. One of his teammates, a little high up the track there in 3 and 4, gets it pointed back down to the bottom for a good run off.
Teammate sits P3, 5/1000ths of a second off the pole. What can he set down? Worth.
To the line, 42.654, the slowest of the whole group.
Oh.
No. No. No.
That's not getting it done.
Davy Fest in shambles. Look at that spoiler angle.
Yeah, you'll see that.
Jordy, the mad lad out here with, like, no spoiler. Love that.
That is laid back.
Jordan Wirtz slots into the 32nd position with that lap. Very unfortunate.
The chat is saying there must be a scoring issue that he is on the pole. I might have to, I can't agree with them, but I get the frustration.
All right, can Jordy break the Altus curse? Can he go out and put down a good lap?
Has he adjusted his setup since his teammates have gone? Think about that.
What are you going to do at this point? What can you do without knowing how it's going to react to the car?
Put the spoiler down?
Well, we saw that. He did that, that's for sure.
Well, again, remember, Cozy ran that 642 at a track that was about 13 or 14 degrees cooler than what Jordy's running in right now.
Doesn't bode well, does it? Through the bumps of 3 and 4. What is it going to be for Jordy?
Didn't use a lot of track. It looked too tighty. I don't know.
Oh, he's saving it.
Oh, big wiggle.
Nice save. But Jordy, even slower than Jordan, a 42.695.
And again, I rode along with Jordy. That was not a lap where he bobbled or he lost it a little bit. That looked really smooth. So yeah, I think Altus tonight they just missed it a little bit.
Eddie Kerner on the track, ready to go. Landon Cassill qualifying challenge champion. Out of dead zone. We've seen dead zone obviously has some speed. That's not Eddie. There's Eddie. Hey.
Chicago. Just raced there in NASCAR, the Chicago Street Course. Want to give another shout out for all the newest viewers out there. Remember, use !giveaway, !T818 to enter the Thrustmaster T818 giveaway for the direct drive wheel that they have. That's absolutely awesome. Thank you to Thrustmaster. Being on board with the Thrustmaster Firecracker 400. Awesome sim racing products.
Absolutely. And there you go in chat. Got the Thrustmaster giveaway. Enter for your chance to win a Thrustmaster T818 direct drive wheel and experience the 10 Newton meters of unfiltered torque.
I really do suggest entering. I love this wheel. I love this wheel. I absolutely love it. I cannot say it enough. And the Sparko wheel that I have, that's supposed to be the Rally edition, is so close what we run in NASCAR. I love it. The feel of it's amazing. It's just, I don't know. I haven't had sim racing gear this nice ever, so I love it.
That's a great rim. That's the same. I use that rim. That's the same rim I use. I love it.
It's amazing. It feels incredible. It feels exactly like a stock car.
Got all the good buttons in the right place as Eddie finishes his lap. What is it going to be? 42.628 for Eddie Kerner.
All right. I'll get you in the top 20. We're too close.
All right.
Where's that put Kerner? It's in the top 20.
Now,
Kerner is
again, remember
19th.
Ethan Moses, guys. This
Just
is
barely.
the Cinderella story, I think, of the Firecracker 400.
One of them.
One of many.
We got a couple of good
that we've
candidates.
seen
We got
this
a couple
year.
of good candidates. Out of Aurora, Colorado. 71st driver. Take time.
Well, again, at this point, we'll start continuing to lock some drivers into the starting field with now 18 drivers left, including Ethan, to go. So congratulations to Alec and Malik. As if it was in doubt, you guys are in the Firecracker 400.
Great point, Blake. They have it. They are in. They now know they will be racing. Question is if they'll be our front row or not.
The big question. One of the biggest questions that you can ask.
Literally the biggest question of the night, David. Who would be fastest in pole day qualifying for Firecracker 400?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the question on everybody's mind. And
it's everyone tuning in and everyone participating wondered the same thing.
And
Yeah,
they wanted
curious,
an answer.
Ethan did not cut the tri-oval. That's probably, he's probably the only driver we've seen that hasn't cut the tri-oval in some form or fashion.
And not a great lap overall. 42.878 for Ethan. I think he falls into the category of drivers that need some setup help. Doesn't have anything really competitive under the hood there. But it's still a lap nonetheless for Ethan. He'll have some work to do tomorrow.
Timo Toyka sponsored himself here.
Hey, you know what they say, Parker? If you want to win, get a fin.
And how do you, that is just like my rally wheel. That is what they say in rally racing for sure.
It has worked out well for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, we haven't seen that really pay off in stock car racing yet. Kimi Räikkönen not able to bring home the victory yet in his limited NASCAR starts. What is that? Porvoo, Finland? How do we say that? Porvoo, Finland. One of the international competitors. I love Timo Toyka's name. Like to say it.
And again, he's somebody that
Multi-time
frequents these 87 cars and official sessions quite a bit.
Yeah, Timo knows his stuff. I mean, is that really the big three? Timo Toyka, Kimi Räikkönen, and Valtteri Bottas?
Yes, Mika Häkkinen's probably somewhere there in the top 5, I would think.
Oh, I guess.
Marcus Grönholm. List goes on.
Track temp back down to 114 degrees.
Yeah, there's a big cloud right now in turns 3 and 4, and it's having a big impact right there on that temperature. It's amazing how much it fluctuates. Just a little bit of cloud cover makes a huge difference.
Just for the chat, we did see 216, which is the official mile per hour of the Firecracker 400. Not whatever else you're seeing out there. 216 in the
Kevin.
week.
Here we go. Timo to the line with a 42.640.
Oh.
Not a pole lap there for Timo.
Not going to be enough. You may have seen the little purple bar under Michael Frisch there. That is basically, as Blake alluded to, showing you who's locking in to the Firecracker 400.
Thank you, Zach, for including that.
Yep.
Very helpful.
Oh, now we're getting all the famous drivers from Finland in the chat. Tommy Mäkinen. Oh, I should have brought that one. Heikki Kovalainen, of course.
Yep.
Yep. These are names you can't forget. Coming up here on the Firecracker 400, for those that just tuned in, we had a driver from Finland just recently qualified, Timo Toyka. For those that are tuned in wondering why these names are being mentioned.
We've gone Finnish. But
Patrick
this qualifying
Gitter.
finish is not finished, as Patrick
Nope.
Gitter is on track.
Charlotte,
Right here in
North Carolina.
Charlotte.
Yes. The heart of stock car racing.
Yeah.
Can he throw down? 73rd car to go. Needs 42, faster than a 42.631 to get into the top 20. Does Patrick have it inside that 07 race car?
Everybody,
up in the air.
including himself, wondering if he can get her into the top 20.
Can he do it?
Get
her done.
That's my first bad joke of the night.
Speed on the backstretch there.
I was right there with you. I knew what you were doing.
Thank you.
See the cloud cover. I just don't think it'll be enough.
It is not. A 42.729 for Patrick Gitter. More speed to find for that outfit. There it is. The other McCandless.
You're not seeing double.
Yeah, I know this guy.
Yeah, what do you think? What kind of lap does Philip put down here?
You know, I'm just not going to say anything after my lackluster effort a little bit earlier, but hopefully he can do something for Couch Racer here.
Here's the question:
Were you work together than you or no?
Did you give him a setup?
No, we did not work together. Philip was not interested in that, so we did not work together. So entirely different setup on his car. And you know what? I guess, maybe for him that was the right decision.
Wow. Family rivalry here. McCandless versus McCandless. Blake, we'll just sit back and let you take us through this lap. Tell us what you're seeing.
Well, I really like the line he's taking in 3 and 4 here. He's able to cut down. And again, Philip, when he tried this event 2 years ago, he hadn't sim raced in about 8 or 9 years, but he's well in practice. And again, is somebody that really loves these cars and is taken to them really well. And again, he's got a 111 track temp here, so he's got a really good shot to put up a good lap here. He actually just, he was at a conference for work, and he had to leave that conference just to make it here, and he's actually going to leave as soon as he's done with his lap and go back to that conference.
Wow. And they even did the deck lid correctly.
Yeah.
This text is rotated so Landon can read it. Landon Cassill, our weather reporter at the beach. He'll love that.
I know he's been bragging that he's been fast, and it looks like a solid lap. Got a cool track, and yeah, there he goes right into the show. A 6.14. That's probably good enough right there, P11, yeah.
Wow, great lap for Philip McCandless. P11 pulls it out.
He held out on
his brother. The superior McCandless shines through there. That's going to make Thanksgiving a little bit awkward.
I was going to say.
Well, there's a whole day tomorrow.
I'd say that might be locked in.
Yeah, I think anything above a 6.2 or so, if you're Parker White, I feel like that's kind of what you're looking for in terms of, if you're around 13th or 14th right now, you're probably a little worried. And again, I don't think the fact that the track is continuing to cool down here, still at 111, I don't think that really helps.
Right. Justin Bolton on track. Statesville, North Carolina. Looking at the track temp here, down to 111, as you pointed out. And a cloud cover here in 3 and 4.
We'll see what we can.
What Freddie
Justin
Crabb
can do here.
Was in the chat here.
Yeah, you saw what Freddie said.
Pointed out they're glad they sponsored the right McCandless.
Well, he said glad we sponsored both.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
Parker.
I only got a portion of it. Whoops.
Unbelievable. Parker's just spinning
What were
the
you
false
saying
narrative
earlier?
here.
Facts and stories.
Freddie's on a pretty good podcast, but it's nowhere near as good as the Muddy Lap.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
muddylap.com. Check it out.
Wow, we got...
That after he gave you the What a Genius award last week on their other
I know,
podcast.
that was pretty nice. All right, I take it back. It's a pretty good podcast.
Justin Bolton puts down a 42.621, matching the time of Parker White.
Wow. It's a good lap.
Good enough
111
for
track
14.
kept paying off. So that's what you, Blake, thought was the cutoff. So let's go see which of those cars makes it in.
Well,
Look at this.
Again, I'm looking at the list, and there are still a lot of really fast cars here in the last 10 or so drivers. Jordan's been really fast. Sean Butler, Larry Pace, Daniel Buttafuoco, Kyler Wynn. I mean, there's some heavy hitters left here, and again, the track is not heating up. It's continuing to get cooler. 110, almost down to 109. So if that continues this trend, it's going to be a pressure-filled couple of minutes here if you're around that cut line.
Jordan Hurley on the track. You saw the back of his car. You like that. Now, my mind immediately went to Kirk Cousins. I don't think that was a caricature of Kirk Cousins on the back of the car, so there must be more at play here.
You know what's interesting about when drivers put those sorts of things in teams on the deck lids like that, in the back of the cars? If you're the driver that ends up following that car for an extended period of time in the race, it gets just ingrained in your brain, like branded in there. I followed Josh Berry earlier this year at Darlington. For I swear, if we had a 200-lap race, it's about 185 laps. I followed his rear bumper, and he had something from Tire Pros. And by the end of the race, all I knew was how to pronounce whatever was on the back of his rear of his car. So, you want to leave a lasting impression, put it on the back of your car.
Well, clearly it was money well spent because it turned you into a customer, I assume. To the line goes Jordan Hurley with a 42.655.
Look, I didn't even need tires, and I left there thinking I had to head to a Tire Pros. So I was just there for milk.
Uh-oh. Very divisive group here, factory setups. Either you're with them or you ain't. Thomas Miller's with them. Now, Tom Miller, let me tell you something about Tom Miller. This is a guy who caught fire recently. Not literally on fire, but figuratively on fire in Moon Car. Went on just an absolute tear in Moon Car of winning races during their summer championship. Vaulted to the top of popularity in Moon Car, and now here he is, once again on track, this time with a new pursuit. Can he put down a good lap?
And he get faster than a 42.628 and get into the top 20. Would you say this factory setups guys are like, you remember back in the day, the X Games days, Metal Militia? Is this the Metal Militia of the iRacing group?
Pretty much.
You love to hate them sort of thing?
I don't think anybody loves to hate them. I think everybody wants to hate them.
Yeah, you're with them or against them, right?
Well, there's a stigma around seeing a factory setup car in your rearview mirror, and that's where most people see them. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Let's look at as we remember here, going for the cut there in the top 20. A 42.628 is what's needed.
I like Tom. Nice guy. Let's see what the lap is.
Across the line. Does he have enough? It was a tidy lap.
42.656.
Ooh.
So 1,000th slower than Jordan Hurley. Not the lap that Tom Miller was looking for there.
It's a competitive lap. It's just not enough, especially with this cloud cover. Oh!
Here's a big one right here.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is one to watch. The unhinged maniac himself, Sean Butler.
Look at those chrome numbers. You can see Daytona reflecting off of them.
I think you could see Jordan Worth reflecting off of it.
This is the most lethal bullet in the chamber that Alec Martinez is going to have to dodge here.
I think that's an appropriate way to word it, too.
And look at the cloud cover all around the track. Track temp down to 110. Another degree down.
Oh, he's loving that. He's loving this.
How much does that play into your head, though? I mean, you could see the cloud cover. Everything's kind of working in your favor. You may have a shot at $10,000 if you can nail this lap. Let's see if it affects Sean here.
Ooh, on board. Love this. It's just
It'd be a great way to watch this lap.
Nearly a perfect 1 and 2 there.
Oh, it looked tidy.
Looks
Once
good.
you hit down the backstretch.
God, I think sounded good too, doesn't it?
Got a little high into 3, but he's still going to be able to have a good exit.
Oh, he's real low. Not using a lot of the racetrack. Through the middle of the racetrack.
Here he comes.
Head to the
Here
tribal.
he comes. To the line for Sean Butler. 42.623. Absolute shocker
Not enough.
Not enough for pole, but again, going to be really close there on that cut line. He ties Brian Blackford's time. So he may have to sweat out these last few. I think that's good enough, though, that if you look at tomorrow, I mean, if you're Butler, yeah, that may not even be good enough to lock in tonight, depending on these last few laps, but that may be in the territory of you could probably sit on your time, or you could think about it for tomorrow, and you might be okay.
Man, I wonder if he'll be disappointed in that one. I would think so. A 110 track temp, cloud cover.
Again, with how close we've seen these times in these cars, every little mistake, if you even want to call them that, I mean, it's just 100th or 2, and with how close everybody is, I mean, if he got a little bit higher than he wanted in 3 and 4, that's probably at least 100th, if not 2. So you always feel like you probably could have gotten more.
Yep.
Here's another one that Kevin McAdams said to watch. Nate Stewart. I want to talk to Sean. Let's get him in here.
Let's get him in here.
Sean!
Hello!
What the hell?
What do you mean?
Yeah, we thought it would be pole.
I mean, I did too. It felt good. I don't know. I mean, I was dissecting the lap. I thought I hit all my marks, and just I don't know. Just I saw the 620. I'm like, well, that's unfortunate. But I mean, it's still top half. I'll take it. Just gotta hope
so
your other people don't beat me.
Are you disappointed?
Yes, I am. I thought I would at least hit like a 6.0, maybe like a 61 at the worst. So I don't know. It's kind of a bummer.
Do you think you'll make the top 20?
I hope so. I mean, if not, I have a decision to make. I mean, I could probably sit on that time if it's, maybe 21st. But I don't know. We got to see how this weather goes. But yeah, definitely not what I was hoping for. But I don't know. Nothing much we can do now.
Well, you just got beat by Nate Stewart. He just went 1,000th faster than you.
Yeah, see, you were on the same setup. So that's, I don't know. So.
Good. Well, tell us, you had a cloud cover. The track temp had dropped to 110, basically the lowest of this session, I believe. Or no, I'm sorry, it was 109 earlier in the session. It shot up to over 111 at one point. Now it was down to 110, and you had a cloud cover. Did you pull out there thinking, oh, this has to be?
I pulled out there not thinking anything. I wanted to just go out and put a lap down, and for the most part, it looked good. I mean, I'm looking back at it right now, and it's just nothing much different. I maybe could have been a little bit lower in the corners, I guess, but I don't know. It's just one of those deals. But we'll go back. We'll think about it, and we'll see what we can do tomorrow. But hopefully, the time will be enough to be in the top 20. We'll see.
All right, buddy.
All right, thanks for being here, Sean. Get out of here. All right, that was Sean Butler.
Colin Fern on track.
Yep.
NASCAR Xfinity Series team owner.
Right. It's weird to say that. FRS Racing, Colin Fern.
It's a little bit different. But, I'm going to make a point here about Sean and just about everybody else. And, everybody kind of walks away from these things, of course, thinking they could have done more. But even when you feel really good about a lap, like Sean did or I did, you think, man, where did the rest of the time go? I guarantee you something changes when you sit on pit road for as long as you do here waiting to go out. When you're testing this car, you're not going to sit there for 5 minutes. You're usually just going to roll off a pit road, make a change, and go out there and run a lap. And I guarantee you there is a big difference between just doing that and between sitting there on pit road, taking the time for everybody else to run their lap, and then launching out and making a lap. And that's probably the discrepancy we see in a lot of these guys who are like, well, I was running 500 or 600s better in testing.
Colin just used a lot of racetrack. That thing is sat down in the rear. It looks like
Really
a handful.
is.
I don't know if that was fast.
42.740, not a very good
No.
lap. That's the second slowest lap of this entire group, and now that will lock in Colin Bowden in 12th. Philip McCandless locked in. Eric J. Smith locked in. Casey Kerwin locked in. Michael Guest locked in, along with Cosman, Brandon Hawken, Sander, Michael Frisch, Kevin McAdams, Malik Ray, and Alec Martinez. Speaking of Frisch, he's been bothering everybody to get a word in here, so let's just get him in here and get this over with. Michael P. Frisch, you are in the booth. Hello.
Oh, I am. I was trying to get moved to Sean's room, but, you know, if I'm up in the booth, that's cool, too.
Well, you've been talking about how you want to run your flapper here in person, so go for it.
Well, since Sean did all the shit, well, sorry if I can't curse. All the all the smack talking in the prelim, and then he came in qualifying the top 10. That's just kind of disrespectful to even be talking about how he's going to qualify on pole. You know, you can't back it up.
Got anything else valuable to add here?
No, I hope everyone's having a good time.
All right, bye. As we look at not Colin Fern on the track.
That's the first time I've ever seen someone get literally kicked out of the booth. Larry Pace here.
I'm restraining myself from not making the obvious joke, as I always do when Larry's on track. I'm just not going to say it this time.
Halifax. Is that Nova Scotia?
It is.
It is.
Oh, look at me. No, I know my Canada.
Blake, is Larry on the Norse Force setup?
He is.
All right.
Well, hopefully he has some pace.
Well,
there it is.
You know, I just kicked one guy out of the booth.
I couldn't even. It's like the Austin Powers mole thing. I just couldn't stop. Couldn't help myself.
Yeah, understandable.
It was gonna be that, or I was gonna say pace 74 times.
Really low off of turn 4.
Here he comes to the line for Larry Pace. 42.628. Not a bad lap.
So close.
That is going to put him right on the cut line.
That'll lock Parker White in.
Oh, just misses it. The bubble was a 6.25, puts a 6.28 down. Definitely could throw. That's another time that you could probably sit on for tomorrow, not have to rerun, and feel pretty confident you're going to get into this race if the weather is similar. That's a fast lap.
Well, again, I'm pulling up the weather on my phone right now as we speak for tomorrow. And around noon, it's supposed to be 88 degrees, which, I mean, is pretty much exactly what we have here. But every single session that we've run tonight has been mostly cloudy. I would probably say it's going to be partly cloudy tomorrow, which that makes a big difference. We've seen how much a lot of cloud cover, it can make it about a 10-degree track temperature swing in about 2 minutes. And if you don't have that cloud cover, it's going to be much, much hotter tomorrow.
John Ellis Jr. here, Fort Mill, South Carolina, taking the track. We get the weather, 110, Blake. So, like you're saying, see if that connects to tomorrow.
I mean, I'll be running because, you know, even if it is 130, who cares?
You heard it
there
here
you go.
first.
The secret's out.
Yeah.
Oh,
John! Save it!
Just hold on to it. There you go. All right.
Whoa.
John Ellis Jr., obviously son of the very famed John Ellis. Spins it around there, and he'll definitely be making a lap tomorrow.
He's going to have another attempt at it. That will not do it.
Nope.
That's our third incident out of 88 cars.
Which isn't bad out of 82
No.
cars. That's not bad. We've only had 3 people kind of step on it.
I was about to say,
You know, it's a nice reminder, I feel like, each and every time that this isn't easy. Of these 88 drivers that are doing this, it's not easy. It's not simple. This isn't, you know, this isn't Daytona Talladega now, you know, modern day qualifying that we do it with one hand and, you know, just sort of try to move the wheel as little as possible. I mean, this You have to drive these things. They're on edge.
Is that how you do it? You drive with one hand?
Some of us do. Yeah.
Incredible. Huge.
Just in qualifying.
I used to sim race like that, honestly.
Well, I don't sim race with one hand. Not the Dale Jr. style.
But I also will
Daniel
say, too,
Buttafuoco.
I think it's a testament to how much these drivers have improved. Because we used to see, 8 or 9 drivers Bennett in qualifying?
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's conditions, right? If we had a full sunny day with the heat, right? No cloud cover. Maybe these track temps are 130 the whole time or up to the 120s, whatever it is. And, yeah, it's hot.
Is Daniel on the North Force setup?
He is.
All right, here we go.
That's some insider information right there. He is.
Tell you, North Force Racing has brought a lot of drivers here to the Firecracker. A lot of very good race car drivers. If I ever got the opportunity to race in this event instead of being in the booth, not complaining, but if I ever did race in it.
I mean, Daniel knows a thing or two about winning big money in sim races. Won the eNASCAR Heat Pro League back in the day.
Yeah. He's made the most successful transition from NASCAR Heat to iRacing of anybody, in my opinion.
Won his prelim the other night.
Across the line, 42.618 for Daniel Buttafuoco. Great lap time. That will lock him in. That will lock him in.
That is a great lap.
Goes right ahead of his North Force teammate there, and Parker White in front of Colin Bowden. Right behind your brother.
And Ray Alfala in a tie with Blake Reynolds is our cut line. Which I cannot remember exactly what the tiebreaker procedure is for qualifying.
It's most money given to the organization independently.
Oh, okay.
Something along those lines.
Now here's a guy, to go full Chris Collinsworth on you. Here's a guy that chat has been buzzing about since we went on air as the most slept-on driver to win the pole here tonight.
Really?
Yeah. Will Norton. Finally here, everybody. He is here.
So
they think everybody's sleeping on old Willie Norton.
Hey, and to answer Blake's questions, we watched Norton do his lap here. If the driver, for tiebreakers, by the way, if the driver
fastest prelim qualifying time.
Well, no, that's hold on. So if you're in the same session, it's the iRacing timing scoring will break the tie, right? But if you're not, since we use 3 sessions here, your fastest prelim qualifying time breaks the tie. So everything matters. If the prelim qualifying times ties are in different sessions, the highest finisher in their respective prelim breaks the tie. And if these drivers have the same prelim finishes, their first round qualifying draw will break the tie. So there you go.
Yeah. So like I said, whoever pays the most money. Here comes Will Norton to the line for his time. What's it going to be?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, 42.595 P2.
Wow.
For Will Norton. By 1/1000th of a second.
My goodness.
My God. Like chat knew. I remember I told you, always trust chat. They know what's going on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you said you can trust everything they say.
Yeah, they're on it. They got their finger on the pulse.
Well done, chat.
What a great lap by Will Norton. And now he's going to sit there and question everything about that lap where he lost 1/1000th of a second. To have a chance at that $10,000 decision for the WITS RC Racing Products last the first challenge.
Meanwhile, the flip side, I was going to say Alec Martinez sitting there thinking, what did I do to have that 1/1000th of a second?
He's only got a few drivers left to avoid before he has to make the choice.
That's right.
He is very close. Very close to being put in that position once it's all official to ask him or whoever the pole sitter is, but there aren't many drivers left. Chat wants to know if I have my Werther's Originals. I do not. Feel free to send some my way. Kyler Wynn, another driver that is lighting it up in chat. A lot of people think Kyler has a chance. To the line, what's it going to be? For Kyler Wynn, 42.641. Not going to be good enough there as he slots in between Timu and Cozy. Not good enough. Matt Kloos. 3 drivers left to go here, Parker. Matt Kloos, Philip Kraus, and Jason Fellenbaum.
What do they have? Does anyone have anything for Alec Martinez? Will Norton, they're so close. 1/1000th of a second. Does anyone else see that and think, I can beat that? Yeah, or do you just have enough to go faster than a 6.23?
There's also a tie right now for 19th between Blackford and Butler. So if one of these few can go faster, we may have to settle a tiebreaker for that 20th and final spot, lock-in spot tonight.
A lot of drama here, as it always is in Firecracker 400 presented by Thrustmaster. If Alec is still in chat, Alec Martinez, your provisional pole sitter, if he's still out there, Alec, jump back in Discord and sit in a channel. We might need to pull you here if you do end up winning this thing. Just be ready.
Oh, no. Kloos had a little bit of a bobble. I think that's going to be enough to put him out of the top 20. Got a little bit loose in the center of 3 and 4 there.
All right, we got Alec. Good. Kloos across the line with a 42.726. And then there were 2. That will lock in Colton Salick to the Firecracker 400.
Well done.
Philip Kraus. Next to go, another Floridian. From West Palm Beach. Does he have a lap time good enough to jump into the top 20? Can he beat a 42.623 currently held by the unhinged maniac, Sean Butler?
And if you're Sean Butler watching this right now thinking, please don't. Please don't have enough. Philip Kraus. Like to look at
Sean
this car.
Butler is praying to the sun gods right now. Now, you wanted drama? You wanted intrigue?
Here it is.
We bring it to you. That's what the Firecracker's all about. People sit there and say, oh, it's just a video game. There's nothing on the line. There's no stakes. There's nothing dramatic about this. BS. BS, good sir or ma'am.
They may be
What was it, which
the
NASCAR
racing
Hall
is
of
real.
Fame? Which NASCAR Hall of Famer said that he was more nervous for qualifying for this race than anything else he's done in racing?
Ooh, I believe it goes by the name of Junior. Is that right? Something Junior?
Believe you're right.
What does Kraus have here through the center, 3 and 4?
Wasn't so good in 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 was really, really solid.
To the line for Philip Kraus. 42.665, and that leaves one more driver to go. That locks in Nate Stewart.
Final driver. Firecracker, Thrustmaster, Firecracker 400 pole day. The Cassill Motors car, number 75. You gotta love the number.
What a story this is, too. What a story. If you were on Twitter at all, you saw the video of Jason Fellenbaum making it through an unbelievable set of circumstances to get in. And then having everything transferred over to him by Dylan Gooden, who drove the Cassill Motors house car, who didn't make it in, transferred all this over to Jason. And now Jason's here to put down his lap.
And I do love that 75 font.
Jason Fellowbaum as well. Really cool story. It was here at this racetrack last August, as a matter of fact, for the summer. He put down a $10 bet on the NASCAR Cup Series race, and he won $70,000.
What?
Wow.
Wow.
He's a mail carrier from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He has a wife and 3 kids, and yeah, he made a $10 bet on the Cup Series race last year at Daytona, and he won $70,000 out of it.
What was the bet?
Like it was a 3-leg parlay top 10 finish for Cody Ware, BJ McLeod, and our very own Landon Cassill.
What a legend!
Wow.
What an absolute legend!
Well, did lightning strike twice at Daytona to put him?
Oh
in
God!
Firecracker 400.
That might be the greatest parlay in NASCAR history.
Oh no, I don't think it's going to work out tonight. Oh.
No, that's not going to do it.
Scuffed it up. Scuffed the wall.
Alec Martinez is going to reach over and grab that bottle of champagne, I do believe. Wait on the lap to be completed here by Fellenbaum just to make it official. This should be good enough to lock in Brian Blackford and Sean Butler as well. Official time goes up, 43.186. So let's hear from him. The provisional, and now we can say official pole sitter for the Firecracker 400, Alec Martinez. Congratulations.
That's crazy, man. I don't even know what to say, man. Just shout out to everybody at Nexus Esports. Man, David Brown, Kyle Hendricks, everybody that put this together, man. I mean, it was just so awesome. This thing was on rails. Thankfully, good Lord let a cloud come on by, and we got the pole. And man, pole sitter for the Firecracker 400 is pretty dang cool. I don't really know what to say, but that's pretty cool. There's still one more step to go. I'm looking forward to enjoying the 200 and then get to work on I think next Wednesday for the 400.
What is your plan? How do you practice? How do you get ready?
I don't know. We're gonna probably get something going for race trim. Get ready to get some time within the working together in different sessions, and just making sure that we make this car fast, good in traffic, and in clean air. It's gonna be loose, but just in being able to work your way through the field is going to be very, very vital with these cars. It's going to be very, very packed up. It's going to be one heck of a show for everybody tuning in. So I'm looking forward to it. But man, just awesome. So fast. This Dale Yoda was fast, and just appreciate all the messages coming in right now. So thank you to all the support, for all the support there, and who's sending me messages, man. It's just so awesome. We're on the pole for the Firecracker 400.
How many laps did you make? How many practice laps did you make?
How many laps? It was less than 100. I want to say probably like maybe 40. It's a lot, but I think 40 probably was what we turned there. Just getting practice, trying different things, different adjustments, making sure what was fast, what wasn't fast. And we hit on something yesterday, and we just got it better here this morning, making some adjustments. Nothing was wholesale, but the adjustments were really fast. And man, they were just this car drove so good, especially with the cloud cover and being able to just roll on the bottom. It was good, and repping the Dale Earnhardt shirt. So maybe that was a little good luck as well.
So Alec, congratulations!
Yes.
I have
Thank
to
you.
ask you a big question.
All
you
right.
are the pole sitter for the 2023 Thrustmaster Firecracker 400, which means you now have the option to take the Wits RC Racing Products Last to First Challenge for $10,000 if you're able to go from last to first in the Firecracker 400 next Wednesday. Are you taking the challenge?
Of course we're taking the challenge. That's what we got to do, man. It's going to be fun coming up from the back to the front, but I'm going to make sure that we give it all we can get, and yeah, man, bring on the challenge.
Love it, buddy. That's awesome. Can't wait to see it. Starting last. Take care of that car.
Oh, we will, man. Thank you.
There you go. Alec Martinez, the pole sitter for the 2023 Firecracker 400 presented by Thrustmaster, and he is taking the Wits RC Racing Products $10,000 last to first challenge. So he will go to the back and start last. If he wins, he gets an extra $10,000 paid to him. Not bad at all. Very cool to see Alec up front. And he was one of the early runners as well, Parker. He went out fairly early in this whole thing, and he had to sweat through a whole lot of drivers.
He did, and he was so animated about the whole thing, and I think the cool part obviously was a bit of his shock in being able to put that lap down and then for it to hold up as long as it did. I don't know if he truly believed it, but it seemed as we went later in that session, it just looked like it was an unbeatable lap. And by 1/1000th of a second, he was able to hold them off in that final session, but he got the pole. An amazing accomplishment. You could tell how elated he was to be winning the Thrustmaster Firecracker 400 pole for 2023. And now he's going to go for an extra $10,000. He's got to protect that race car, though. That's a hard thing to do in this race. Over 400 miles at over 200 miles an hour, tons of tire fall off. This is going to be awesome to watch.
A lot of drama there as he becomes the next driver to take on the Wits RC Racing Products last to first challenge for $10,000. Does it play out for him? Only one way to find out. That's to come back and watch next Wednesday for the third running of the Firecracker 400 presented by Thrustmaster. But we are not done yet for this week. Tomorrow, probably the most dramatic day yet. If you thought today had some dramatics behind it, just wait until tomorrow. Bump day. Drivers, do they stand on their time? Do they go out and rerun a lap to try and break into the Firecracker 400? Blake, I think we all know you already said what you're going to do, but if you're a driver that's in 24th, 25th, do you go out and run another lap or do you stand on your time?
That, again, I almost would rather be in the situation I'm in where it's pretty cut and dry what you want to do because, again, looking at the weather tomorrow, just maybe slightly cooler, about 88, 89 degrees, so not going to make too much of a difference there, but not supposed to be as cloudy tomorrow. And we saw tonight, we saw the dramatic swings. It would go from, 115 to 125 in the span of 2 minutes. And the time I sat on pit road, it went from 120 to 131 by the time I took the green flag. So that's how drastically it can shift. And if it is clear tomorrow or partly cloudy, it is going to be a lot hotter with basically the same ambient temperature. So those drivers, 20th, 25th or so, they're going to have a long night to sit and think about whether they want to rerun again.
Glad I don't have to make that decision. I'm making the decision to come back and watch it. That's the only thing I have to worry about, as we're going to bring you all the coverage right here again tomorrow night starting at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on eRacer Twitch channel. Make sure you stay tuned in to social media as well using the hashtag Firecracker400. A lot of exciting stuff coming your way tomorrow. And again, a big thank you to Thrustmaster for all their involvement with the T818 direct drive wheel. But man, if you had a Thrustmaster T818, do you think you go out and run a faster lap tomorrow, Parker?
I think you could. I think it would be the difference between not or making the Firecracker 400 presented by Thrustmaster. So get a T818 or enter the giveaway using exclamation point giveaway or exclamation point T818 and get yourselves one of those, and maybe that would be what gets you in the Firecracker 400.
Only one way to find out who is in and who is out. That's to come back tomorrow night and watch with all of us, but that'll do it for this evening. We are done before midnight. It is a great thing to see. I appreciate you watching. Thanks for tuning in. For everybody on the production side, Zach Johnson, our producer, for Blake McCandless, Parker Kligerman, and everybody here at eRacer, I'm David Schildhouse saying congratulations to Alec Martinez, your pole sitter for the 2023 Firecracker 400 presented by Thrustmaster.
All right, so Thrustmaster sent me this T818 wheel, which is their direct drive wheel. As you know, Thrustmaster is a partner here in the Firecracker 400. Don't mind my setup, it's a bit messy, but I've been doing some practice after setting it up at New Hampshire. And I can tell you, this thing is incredible. As we get rolling here, the first thing that hits you is it's incredibly smooth, right? I also love the Sparko wheel. This is the rally wheel, although I think it's very close to what we have in stock cars and feel, size, that sort of thing. But as you go on the racetrack, you immediately start to feel all the just little bumps that change in the banking. And as you brake, you can feel the left front just starting to try and lock.
You feel the difference between the left front and the right front, almost like chatter. I'm blown away. I mean, like, I've never felt a sim racing wheel like this. I spend hours a week in manufacturer sims that cost hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, that are trying to achieve this same feel. It's incredible. I mean, every little movement of the tire is there. As you come up the corner, you can feel the car weight and then unweight, especially in the left front. It's just unbelievable. Where have you been all my life? I would have won so many more sim races if I had this wheel in my life. There's no chance I'm ever going to use a different wheel. I am absolutely blown away, and that is not just because they're a partner. I am telling you, this is one of the best sim racing wheels I have ever used. And I don't even know if I have all my settings exactly how I want them. I'm still working on that. But this has made my practice and testing for New Hampshire this weekend so much more enjoyable. The feel is incredible! Oh, amazing. Thank you, Thrustmaster. I should probably pull over and stop. Thank you so much for supporting the Firecracker 400 and for this awesome wheel. I can't wait to do a lot more sim racing with this wheel.